Sacramento Kings. It's Sacktown Sports 1140. Sacktown Sports headlines.
With your Sacktown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings start a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Milwaukee. The Kings come into the game having won 3 straight games, while Milwaukee went 2-0 on a quick road trip that saw them visit Charlotte and Orlando. Kings guard Terrence Davis is questionable to play tonight with a back injury, and Joe Ingles is out for the Bucks as he recovers from a knee injury. Coverage starts tonight with game night at 3:30 on Sacktown Sports. 49ers fans can breathe a sigh of relief as Jimmy Garoppolo's broken foot is not the dreaded Liz Frank injury. Jimmy G is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, which would put him in line to return this season should the 49ers advance deep into the NFC playoffs. The New York Yankees have re-signed outfielder and reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year, $360 million deal. This is the third highest total value contract in MLB history. The San Francisco Giants signed Mariners slugger Mitch Haniger to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Haniger struggled to stay on the field for Seattle last season, appearing in just 57 games. However, the previous season, Haniger appeared in 157 games, hitting 39 home runs and 100 RBI. Coming up today, Jiffy Lube presents the Kevin Huerter Show at 7:27, and Kings color analyst Katie Christensen joins us at 8 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now it is time for the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Well, the shoes on the other hand this time instead of shoes on the other hand. Instead of
On the other foot.
on the foot, yeah. Instead of Jason being in this chair taking over for me, well, I'm in here along with Jay, and Jason's out today.
The rare feat.
The rare feat. That's right. I know you got to do 50 things. I'm trying to scoot so I can
That's okay.
center as best I can.
I can help center you later.
Jason is out today. He will be back tomorrow, and I'm sure he will have a story.
Oh, he'll have a story.
But all is well, and we miss Jason. And
Wow, shade at me.
what do you mean? Oh, missing him? Shade at you?
Yes.
Oh. 1-800-920-11.
It's missing Jason, not happy to have Jay in the elevated role today. It's okay.
It's like old times. You're a suit now. You're
Semi-suit.
You're like a
Pseudo-suit.
a one piece, not a 3-piece.
Suit of Jace.
You can watch us, Sacktown Sports YouTube page. Please like and subscribe. That's what they tell us to tell you, and please do. Get in the chat. It does help. Get in the chat. Like Guam Nom Nom is in the chat. It caught my eye because number one, I'm like, wow, are you in Guam? You know what they say about Guam, Jay? It's where America's day begins. That's actually their slogan.
Is it?
Where America's day begins. Yes,
Oh.
it's an American territory. That's the first sunrise right there, first New Year, all that stuff from our neck of the world, sort of just east. I say just east, decently east, but closest to the Philippines. And why do I know anything about Guam? Because I was conceived in Guam, Agana, where my mom and dad lived, and thank God came back here while my mom was very pregnant, or I would be dead. Literally, I would not be here had they had me in Guam. I was a 3-month preemie, and Oakland Children's Shriners Hospital saved my life. Thank God, the American River Hospital. Guam did not have the facilities. And
oh, boy.
Philippines.
Not think we were going there.
Yeah, well, I have a very soft spot in my world for Guam.
Guamanian Dave.
When I see Guam, and still use a Guamanian marinade to this day.
Look at you.
As my number one marinade when I barbecue.
Showing off your
You
heritage.
see that? Yes, my heritage. I am Guamanian, sort of, kind of.
Guamanian Dave. I like it.
Guam Dave, leading off right now, please.
Let's do it. It's time for Leading Off. Brought to you by Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge, where for over 60 years, their name means a great deal in Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com. Here's cut number 1.
And here's cut number 1. It's playing. And that's up.
It's grabbed by Davion Mitchell. Brings it back to Monk. He goes up and under, and he spikes it. Oh, my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk. That was eye-popping. That was jaw-dropping. Malik Monk getting a standing ovation from a number of Kings fans after the breakaway, brought it down to his waist and ripped it back up and thundered it home. Wow.
Yeah, the great Gary Gerald with the call. So this is interesting. The Kings take on the Bucks tonight. This is the start of they're, I think, one of two teams that have 2 6-game road trips this season. I think I read that yesterday. This is the beginning of that, and a road trip that will help define the season as they are playing some pretty big teams, including but not limited to Philadelphia, Cleveland looking for revenge, Toronto, and then, of course, tonight against Milwaukee, champions a couple years ago, off to that amazing start, and the Bucks favored by 6.5. Now, what's interesting is in the years past, this would be like walking to your funeral.
Right.
You know, where you look at tonight, you go, well, anything can happen.
It's one of those games you hope to win, but you expect to lose.
I expect to lose this game. For me, it's in the margins. Will they be competitive? Will they survive the onslaught? Will they be able to hold a lead if they have it? I believe that the Milwaukee Bucks are a better team than the Sacramento Kings.
Wow, there's a hot take to start the morning.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Better team.
I'm sure the text line will blow up to disagree.
and I think that obviously Milwaukee playing at home is also an advantage at Fiserv. But it's the first game of the road trip. The Kings have been off since Sunday and that Sunday afternoon game. So even more, I mean, they've got more time off than normal. I know they went through at least one, I want to say 2 practices since then, and a good time to be able to stop down sometimes. You know, you go on the road, you've got that bond. You love your families and your friends, but you don't have them around bugging you. You're eating dinners together, lunches together. You're going to shoot arounds. You're going to practices. And I think with Mike Brown through the quarter point of the season, it's a great time to stop down and say, all right, this is what we're doing great. Here's what we need to work on. Let's walk this through 30 times. Let's face some hard truths about the issues we've had. And also hopefully giving a chance to guys like De'Aaron Fox to mend up a little bit. Keegan Murray to continue, and I imagine he'll have some friends and family. You know, Iowa's not right next to Milwaukee, but it's drivable. And then the guy we're going to talk to today. Now, here's a note for y'all. Normally, we have Kevin Huerter at 8:27. We will have him live today. That's the good news. But because the Kings will literally be practicing or having shoot around, at 8:27 our time, we're moving him back to 7, or should I say up to 7:27. So he's going to come back an hour. We'll have him live from Milwaukee. And to me, Kevin Huerter, when we talk later, is going to be one of my big keys to the game tonight. If Kevin Huerter can get back on track, this team's going to have a much better chance of winning this ball game. So we'll talk to him at 7:27. Katie Christensen joins us from Milwaukee at 8 a.m. as she does each and every Wednesday. Cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
There's anytime a player gets hurt, especially when it's a season ending, you know how much these players put into it and how much rides on just for their career, their family, everything is based off of staying healthy and stuff. So from the individual or whoever it is, you're always crushed because it's a very tough sport, and this is what these guys commit to coming out of college.
Well, you want to talk about a lifeboat, a life raft, an inner tube, whatever you want to call it. What was originally thought to be a Liz Frank injury to Jimmy Garoppolo that would have absolutely put him out for the year, and also much of the spring and part of the summer, getting foot surgery. He's not going to need foot surgery. This is according to Adam Schefter. If rehab goes well, they say he has a chance to return in 7 to 8 weeks. A 7-week timetable, Jay, would mean a possible return for the NFC divisional round. 8 weeks would be the NFC championship game. The Super Bowl is in 10 games. What does this mean? This means Jimmy Garoppolo is probable for the Super Bowl. Again, should Kyle choose to play him. We don't know how the rehab's going to go, but you better believe he's going to have millions and millions of dollars in expertise and equipment and drugs ready to get him through.
Well, and the big thing too with the Liz Frank injury, if you're wondering what that is, that's the injury Chet Holmgren suffered during the summer, and as you see, that keeps a guy out for a year.
Yeah.
So obviously, in the interim, great news for the Niners that you'll potentially have him back, but also great news for Jimmy that he's not going to have to miss next season.
Correct.
And a payday.
Correct.
So
there's a lot there. We're going to talk about this quite a bit later, including if he's healthy. What is the scenario if he's healthy and he doesn't come back? And how does Kyle Shanahan work this? No pressure, Jimmy. You're just coming right back. Here's the playoffs.
Enjoy.
This guy, I tell you what, man, has been through a ton. Number 3.
Cut number 3.
The season began with Aaron Judge talk about his contract. Could you just say how you feel about what his season was like and the possibility that you watched his last game in pinstripes tonight?
Incredible. Just an incredible season, and, someone that I've grown close with.
That's Aaron Boone talking about Aaron Judge. Well, Aaron Judge, after all the malarkey and a premature tweet by a very popular journalist who referred to him as Arson Judge.
Well, might actually be
he's going to set
apropos.
the Bronx on fire. 9 years, $360, $40 million a year. Jay, I'll leave you with this note. When the San Francisco Giants signed Barry Bonds, coming off his MVP year, I think he was 27, 28 years old. He's younger than Judge. The deal was for 6 years, and I believe $42 million in totality. Aaron Judge will be making $2 million less per year for the next 9 years as a guy who is, 30?
I don't know why Bonds took that deal. Clearly could have negotiated for more.
I mean, I've heard of inflation, but my goodness. Thanks, Obama, right?
No kidding.
All right.
I mean, geez.
Boxing loses a legend. We've got Sac State playoff tickets. Get in right now. It's Jay Mars trivia.
What?
1-800-920-1140. 1-800-920-1140. And soccer fans, I'm looking for Russell in the chat. I see him. Listen up. The numbers are in for U.S. soccer. We'll let you know. Is the sport catching on? Are there some things to build on? We'll talk about it next.
Breaking news, the latest happenings with your favorite teams.
Do you ever wonder about what the heck all these kids are doing on the computers all the time?
Stay up to date with all of it by following us on Instagram and Twitter.
Excuse me, gentlemen, a little update for you.
At Sacktown 1140.
Carmichael Dave here, letting you know when the housing market shifts quickly like it has the last few months, having the right mortgage company on your side is crucial in this ever-changing market. We've got just that lender. It's my guy Shelby at United Wholesale Lending. Now you can check them out at refinancewithshelby.com. They're fast, they're local, and competitive. Shelby's team, as I've told you for years, is well known in the real estate market from real estate agents, title companies, appraisal companies. United Wholesale Lending will even get your offer fully underwritten and approved upfront so you can compete with the cash offers. With the increase in inventory, the market has shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Buyers now have the opportunity to shop for the home that's right for them instead of settling for what was available. You can always refi as soon as rates come down, or United Wholesale Lending has alternative loan options like a 2-1 buy down. RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 01864354.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The only local sports show in the morning.
On Sacktown Sports 1140.
All right, 1-800-920-1140. Get in for Sac State trivia. Get yourself a chance to go see Sac State in the playoffs this weekend. Round 3. Big game. Biggest game in Hornet football history.
No hyperbole.
No hyperbole at all. Mills Lane is probably the boxing ref I grew up with the most. A lot of you out there, same thing. He was synonymous with big fights. Also went on to have a TV judge show. He was a judge, like an actual, real
Not like Aaron.
Court judge. And he had this no-nonsense way where, as a fight fan, if you saw Mills Lane in the ring, you felt good. Mills Lane, Richard Steele, Cortez, there's a handful of others. Maybe. I might have just covered most of it.
I think you hit all the big boxing refs.
Mills Lane passed away yesterday, and a lot of people remember him from reffing Tyson Holyfield too.
I mean, that's his biggest fight, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. He wasn't even supposed to ref that fight.
Yeah, and that was the ear fight. Mills Lane. No one could have handled it better than Mills Lane. He was no nonsense. And yes, a lot of people, I see Matt in the chat, remember him from Celebrity Deathmatch too.
Yes,
that's
great
also
show.
Very true. U.S. soccer numbers are in. These are numbers from the tournament thus far. The U.S., of course, bouncing out last Saturday, 7 a.m. start on Big Fox. When they
network,
lost
right?
The network. They lost to the Netherlands. 12.97 million tuned in last Saturday to watch that match. Now, apples.
That's my fault. Sorry.
Okay. Apples to apples. The only place we can go is 8 years ago when they played Belgium in the knockout. And they had 13.4 million. That's down just about 500,000 viewers. Against Wales, because remember, they missed the World Cup previously. 8.3 million watched the U.S. take on Wales in their opening match. Now, just to give you some context here, Green Bay versus the Giants in London. That was the, 7 a.m. start on NFL Network?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Sorry, you're right. 5.5 million. So you go, okay, well, 13 million versus 5.5 million. Here's what I would say to that. 5.5 million for a faltering Green Bay team. You did have New York in that big market. That's true. Regular season game at 6 a.m. on NFL Network that a lot of people don't have. This is Big Fox. It's Big Fox. And you got just under 13 million. Here's another example. Michigan, Ohio State, which happens every year. 17 million people tuned in to watch Michigan, Ohio State. How about comparable sports? How about the Olympics? Now, obviously, we're going with a big one here, but just to give you an idea. Michael Phelps in 2016, 33 million.
Wow. It's a swim.
Now, the 7 a.m. start, certainly some people didn't get up for that. I buy that. But after not making the World Cup and everything leading up to the U.S.'s first match on their return to the stage at a time where everybody was awake, in a game that they were favored to win against Wales, so people like to see wins, 8.3 million. The bottom line is this. Americans love a big event. Unfortunately, soccer is good for the big event. People like to wear the flags, sing the songs, chant USA, USA, USA. Soccer's a niche sport in this country, and the World Cup did very little this go-around to help it. And they have 3.5 years to continue to grow the sport. Soccer is somewhere in the world of tennis, regular golf, low-end hockey, maybe. And soccer aficionado who's pointing to this is growth. Yeah, growth, I guess. Not enough growth, not quick enough. And now the United States soccer world, what are they going to do to respond? Well, the most visible soccer in America, Major League Soccer, now will start their 10-year contract with Apple. You want to see MLS games? Cool. $100 a year or $15 a month. And I'm sure people are going to line up because, you know, they were killing it on network TV. They're going to line up. Oh, the exposure is going to be amazing. Once again, MLS going for the cash immediately so the owners can line their pockets rather than growing the sport. So they take the money from Apple, they split it amongst themselves, and they continue to kill the sport here in America. It was not It was not a good World Cup for the
It
United
was not
States.
a soccer wave.
No, it was a soccer mirage.
I've always said this. If you anticipate using the U.S. men's team and playing well in the World Cup to grow the sport,
yeah,
this is going to have to be a consistent thing over the next 12 to 16 years.
What is going to have to be consistent?
The U.S. being really good at that level.
But
that's
not.
How long it's going to take.
You're exactly right. Now, had the U.S. advanced, that number would have grown exponentially. In fact, I would venture to say 13 million is what watched the Netherlands. Had they beaten the Netherlands, whatever the final 8, the quarterfinals, probably would have been around double. It probably would have been around 25, 26 million. And had the U.S. advanced to the championship, you would be looking at just this side. I don't think you would get there, but just this side of Super Bowl numbers for a World Cup final featuring the United States.
Do you think that's because of the anomaly of the U.S. being in the finals more than anything?
Yes, we love big events.
Sure.
And we've always had this thing about soccer where we don't want to like it because we suck at it. But the moment we start not sucking at it, we love soccer. That's part of the equation. It doesn't work. It's not working. And diehard soccer fan is going to buck a little bit at these numbers, but you're fooling yourself. And by the way, your opinion doesn't matter. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that you're already hooked.
Yeah.
You're
tuning in no matter what.
You're tuning in no matter
You're
what.
You're buying the MLS pass.
That's correct.
You're doing all that.
Your opinion matters. The guys on the text line opinion, the guys in the chat, the ones that watch soccer every 4 years, or maybe when the Republic got into the Lamar Hunt final in Orlando, you like big events. But right now, soccer is basically gymnastics, swimming. It's an Olympic sport. As big as Michael Phelps was, Jay. Nobody was tuning into the Pan American Cup in June to watch Phelps compete.
They weren't.
They didn't care.
What about the U.S. Nationals?
The Olympics.
What about the World Championships?
Nope. Olympics. Gold medal or nothing. Baseball reporter yesterday, one of the biggest in the business, did not get a gold medal for his reporting, and Giants fans paid for it. The saga of Aaron Judge came to a close just minutes ago. We'll update you on that next.
The Kings take on the Bucks Wednesday in Milwaukee to kick off a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip.
Watching Monk go for 3 and score the 3.
Coverage starts at 3:30 with Game Night on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Enterprises.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Wednesday forecast starts out pretty cool as we've got mainly clear skies. Look for some areas of patchy fog this morning. Into the afternoon, we'll have sunshine, highs in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Are you remodeling your home? Byers Leaf Guard gutters are a custom solution that are not only 100% clog-free, but they're also 100% custom-made for your home on site. You choose the color and let us do the rest. Learn more at thatsbyers.com.
License number 518784. Do you take pride in your holiday gift purchases? Or are you someone who just wants to get the whole gift buying ordeal over with? Hi, Doug Christie here, and I'm both. I do like giving great gifts, but I don't have tons of time to do so. So if you're like me, listen closely. Plus, I'll even save you 20% during the holiday season. I'm talking about Good Feet Art Supports. Surprise? You shouldn't be. At last count, roughly 80% of all adults suffer or will suffer from foot-related pain issues. These tend to be active people and people working on their feet, anywhere from 35 to 64. Sound like anyone on your gift list? And during the holidays, when you buy a Good Feet Art Support gift certificate, the Good Feet store will add 20% to its value. That's a 20% bonus free. And remember, Good Feet Art Supports come with a lifetime warranty. So you're giving a lifetime of unmatched comfort, balance, and support. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto. Online, goodfeet.com.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Let me guess. Unknown caller. You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, curbside pickup, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. We make buying a new Honda easy and stress-free. Pre-order online or in person today. We'll be there to help you every step of the way. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
ATM Mortgage.
Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell with a very unique program for homeowners over 55 years old. How would you like to cut your house payment in half and maybe get some cash out too? Give ATM Mortgage a call, 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
Sacramento State football is hosting a playoff game this Friday night at 7:30 against Incarnate Word. Tickets start at just $10. Go to hornetsports.com.
Sacktown Sports headlines.
With your Sacktown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings start a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Milwaukee. The Kings come into the game having won 3 straight, while Milwaukee went 2-0 on a quick road trip that saw them visit Charlotte and Orlando. Kings guard Terrence Davis is questionable to play tonight with a back injury, and Joe Ingles is out for the Bucks as he recovers from a knee injury. Coverage starts tonight with game night at 3:30 on Sacktown Sports. 49ers fans can breathe a sigh of relief as Jimmy Garoppolo's broken foot is not the dreaded Liz Frank injury. Jimmy G is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, which would put him in line to return to this season should the 49ers advance deep into the NFC playoffs. The New York Yankees have re-signed outfielder and reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year, $360 million deal. This is the 3rd highest total value contract in MLB history. The San Francisco Giants signed Mariners slugger Mitch Haniger to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Haniger struggled to stay on the field for Seattle last season, appearing in just 57 games. The previous season, however, Haniger appeared in 157 games, hitting 39 home runs and 100 RBI. Coming up today, Jiffy Lube presents the Kevin Huerter Show at 7:27, and Kings Color analyst Katie Christensen joins us at 8 a.m. from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Text or call the show at 916-339-1140 on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Shockingly, Russell on the chat line. You can watch this on Sacktown Sports' YouTube. Takes exception with the soccer opinions. And I just realized, you know what, Jay? Soccer fan. I shouldn't say all. Many soccer fans. They're the vegans of the sports world.
Oh, jeez.
They really are.
They're the 1%.
They're so caught up.
Right.
And they want to let you know the gospel. God forbid, though.
That's actually a really good comparison.
They really are.
Is.
I love the sport. We're going to get to Aaron Judge right now. I love the sport. I want it to grow. I spend more time on it than 99.9. I spend more time on soccer to the point where I get yelled at for spending time on soccer. But I want it to grow. I'm just not blind to how the business works, man.
I appreciate that.
A country that has 2 million less people than California just beat Spain and advanced. And meanwhile, the United States is like, well, we got orange slices.
Yeah, and baseball players making ridiculous
Right.
money.
I'm proud of the U.S. team for what they did and what they have, but my goodness gracious, come on, guys. John Heyman is one of the most trusted and most popular baseball reporters there is, and he got loose with a tweet yesterday announcing that Aaron Judge is going to the Yankees or the Giants. Hold on, not Aaron Judge going to the Giants. Arson Judge,
Aaron's brother.
Which, by the way,
he's the one that stayed in Sacramento.
Let's be honest here, dude. Arson Judge would be a dope sports name.
Oh, Arson Judge is
setting things on fire.
Oh man,
that'd actually be a great sports nickname too. By the way,
yeah, I don't think that ref didn't just go over my head. Set things on fire.
I mean, you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Malik Arson Monk. Just set things on fire when he comes in. Well, guess what? Aaron Judge did not go to the Giants. Susan Slusser, who is one of the most respected reporters in the world. Now, let me be clear. She didn't get it wrong at all. But even Susan was saying the mood, I think her tweet was, the mood here in the halls of, you know, the meetings and all that is that Judge is going to the Giants. It certainly seemed like Judge was going to the Giants.
That sounds a little fishy when you got very prominent reporters reporting that. Well, and like you said, in Susan's case, she wasn't reporting.
Right.
She was just saying, hey, there's a feeling out here.
This is where the tide
But
is
Susan's not going to say that if she doesn't feel confident in putting that out.
100%. And John Heyman is not a Chicken Little reporter either. This is the guy that gets stuff wrong. This is the Shams, the Adam Schefter, the Woj of baseball, along with Jeff Passan and a few others. So he retracts the tweet, apologizes for jumping the gun. The Giants signed Mitch Haniger, outfielder, Mariners. When healthy, he's fine. He had 100 runs and 100 RBI a couple years ago. Was a little banged up last year.
He was a lot of banged up last year.
It's a fine signing. I'm happy with this.
I think, and we talked about this before the show, these are the type of signings the Giants should be making.
Yes. They need about 5 more Mitch Hanigers.
Yes.
I'm with you.
That is the formula over the last 10 years, 12 years, hell. When this team is good, it's guys like this that come in.
Right.
They make an impact. They stay healthy. I mean, to me, it's not apples to apples here, but this is similar to the Carlos Rodon deal that they signed last offseason. You know, Rodon had some injury history with the White Sox, but when healthy was amazing. And last year he was pretty much healthy for the Giants, and he was amazing.
9 years, $360 million to bring Aaron Judge back. Now, 2 things. Number one, as a Giants fan, and I know that not everybody is on this side. I actually am fine with this. I've said it before. This isn't me coping.
Yeah.
I've been very vocal about this. I love Aaron Judge. I love him as a face of baseball. I think he's amazing. He's an amazing offensive player, and just I love the way he carries himself. And you know what? The Yankees, it's a perfect spot for him. You know, Maris, Mantle, Ruth, all the Jeter, Judge.
Interestingly enough, too, and we'll go back to the Giants part of this real quick, but it looks like it came down to the Yankees, the Giants, and weirdly, the Padres were kind of a last, second, third team. No sign of the Dodgers.
No sign of the Dodgers in there. Well, let's see what comes out in the next week, too. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Dodgers were like, hey, we'll give you $350.
I don't think so. I think that would have been reported amongst those teams. But the Yankees ended up giving him $360.
Right.
According to most reports, he turned down more money to go back to New York. What were the Giants offering?
So you got to be talking obviously approaching 400.
That's what I thought. What do you think? 390?
Yes.
Minimum 375.
$40 million a year for Aaron Judge. I listen. It's tough to have this conversation because it sounds like you're ripping Aaron Judge. It's like anytime you're in a negotiation, it's always
get paid, dude.
Yeah, get paid, and I love it, and I love New York for where I love it. Stay in New York, yes, awesome, good stuff. You're talking about a guy that isn't really going to kill it for you defensively. He's 30. He'll be 31 when the season starts, April 26th, right there. So you're talking about a guy who's going to be playing on this contract into his 40th year. Now, could Aaron Judge continue to be productive till 40? Sure, he's not going to be 40 million productive.
He won't.
And by the way, and who knows, because specimens are different. But Aaron Judge is 6'7", 282. That generally doesn't age well.
No.
I'm pretty sure. Let me ask you this. He's 30. He'll be 31. Let's say halfway through the contract, 45 or 35. I'm sorry. Pretty sure this is a guy that if he plays 100, if he even plays 162, you're looking at 200 plus strikeouts. You're going to see a lot of whiffing from Aaron Judge when he gets. So it's just, to me as a Giants fan, I would much rather take that $40 million and go out and get two $20 million guys, get a 25 and a 50, break it up.
Yeah,
because this team needs to win.
No, I agree with you. And I think the Haniger deal is a good indication that they're definitely doing that.
Yes.
Honestly, when I saw the deal was signed, that to me led me to believe Judge wasn't coming over.
Right.
Haniger's also an outfielder. I'm like, that signals that the Giants know what is going on there. But obviously you didn't know. But so you sign Haniger. That shores up your outfield right now is looking like what? Yastrzemski, Peterson, Haniger. That's, if healthy, that's all three of those bats have pop.
Yes.
That's a good thing. But now, how do you feel out the rest of that team? I don't think Brandon Belt should be your starting first baseman next year. I know you're on the hook for Brandon Crawford, but boy, did he regress last year. And part of that was injury. I get it. But I don't trust Brandon Crawford to be healthy and be as productive as he was in 21. I don't think Evan Longoria is coming back. I don't think the Giants are going to bring him back. So now you have a hole at third base. You still have a lot of area you have to cover for the San Francisco Giants, which I agree with you. Aaron Judge is obviously Aaron Judge, but now you can go out and make smart moves in your infield. And that's what Farhan Zaidi has to do. He has to make smart moves on the infield. I think they need to go after and re-sign Carlos Rodon. They need another starter. They need to shore up the bullpen. I mean, this team just has so many holes.
And that's the point. You know, Giants fans, some are disappointed, and I get it. Hey, Aaron Judge, we need a superstar. And that was Bryce Harper before that. And everyone's searching for Barry Bonds. Guess what? The last time this team had a superstar, a super duper star, was Barry Bonds. They won exactly 0 rings with Barry. Well, and
They almost got one.
They almost got one.
But that was 10 years after signing him.
Should have left Russ Ortiz. But.
And I want to make it 10 years after signing him. They almost got a ring.
But what's the team that won 3 titles? Now, they had stars.
Sure.
Buster Posey is a star. Tim Lincecum for a nice brief period was a star. I mean, 2 Cy Youngs.
Matt Cain was a star to me.
Matt Cain was star adjacent. You know, none of that was Barry Bonds, Aaron Judge.
They didn't have a superstar.
Star. No, they didn't have a superstar.
I'd argue Posey could be a superstar. But
Posey was the closest.
Yeah.
Posey was the closest. That's not what they need. They need to build. They need to build. And Aaron Judge, to me, was a shortcut. Now, it's on Farhan Zaidi now to go out and spend money.
Yeah.
He's got to go out and spend money. He's got to go out. And I don't need him to I don't need him to go Texas Rangers.
No.
I don't need him to go out and spend
Make
$500
smart
million
moves.
just to get some press.
But if he spends the money this year, which all indications are they're going to spend money and they're going to retool, and they fail again, has he been a failure as a GM? Because you can't blame money. He has the tools to work with.
I think the clock is ticking a little bit on Farhan Zaidi.
I do too.
I think patience. Listen, you have that type of dynasty you have with the Giants, 3 World Series titles in that short of a time.
Major market.
Expectations are going to be high. Guess what?
Attendance was down.
When and if the Warriors, Steph and Clay and Dre and all that move on and they're not able to continue, if that's the case, you're going to see Chase Center half empty, just like the Giants ballpark. You're going to see numbers drop because fans get spoiled. Expectations get up there. Anyways, we'll take a break. When we come back, the Kings start their 6-game roadie tonight against the Bucks. Let's take a first look next.
The Kings take on the Bucks Wednesday in Milwaukee to kick off a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip.
Watching Monk go for 3 and score the 3.
Coverage starts at 3:30 with Game Night on Sacktown Sports.
Campsite is holding their biggest sale of the year. Save big on quality camping gear and equipment. All new in-stock sleeping bags, camp chairs, cots, pantries, and other items up to 50% off. Deeper discounts on select open box items as well. Sale starts Monday, December 5th and runs through December 22nd. Visit them Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Located at 8615 23rd Avenue in Sacramento. Or call 916-383-9461. Campbright's end of the year closeout sale is on now.
Ooh, there's nothing worse than being cold and uncomfortable in your own home. Make sure you and your family are able to enjoy the holidays this winter. At American Energy Heat and Air, we want to make sure your furnace is running safely and efficiently during these cold months. For only $49, take advantage of the 30-point tune-up today. Proudly servicing the community since 1981, American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Book your tune-up today for only $49. Call 916-520-9990 or visit them at AmericanEnergyAir.com.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. Why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Your 2022 Big Sky champions Sacramento State Hornets are moving on in the NCAA FCS playoffs. The Hornets will host a third-round playoff game against Incarnate Word on Friday, December 9th at 7:30. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at hornetsports.com. Hornet Nation, we need you to pack Hornet Stadium and cheer on your hometown Hornets in their quest for a national championship. Get your tickets now. Go Hornets and Stingers up.
Got a take? Make sure it's a hot one.
Take a shot right now.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports, 1140.
This is definitely a tide-turning moment in this ball game if Chicago scores. Monk knocks the ball away. It's grabbed by Davion Mitchell. Leads it back to Monk. He goes up and under, and he spikes it. Oh, my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk. That was eye-popping. That was jaw-dropping. Malik Monk getting a standing ovation from a number of Kings fans after the breakaway, brought it down to his waist and ripped it back up and thundered it home. Wow.
Wow. I hope we see that tonight. I do. I hope we see that tonight. And we will. Listen, Kings aren't, knock on wood, Kings aren't going to roll over and play dead and lose by 50.
Well.
And you know what? If they did, wouldn't mean that this season is over. It's one loss, whether you win, you lose by 2 or you lose by 50, but they want to create some momentum. Team has been amazingly, keep knocking on wood here, healthy this year. It is seriously the single biggest statistic that I worry about going to bed at night is that if they were to stay on average this healthy throughout the year, I think they would by a large margin be the healthiest team in the history of the NBA. It just happens. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and it's just a matter of where those bruises and bang-ups are going to come from. In the meantime, you roll with it, you enjoy it, you play the schedule that's in front of you, and in Milwaukee tonight, this is a fantastic team through and through. They have very, very few weaknesses. When you look at their starting lineup, Drew Holiday is a true two-way player. Grayson Allen, as much as we all hated him at Duke, should have never slipped the way he slipped in the draft. And his ability to get over to Milwaukee from he was on Utah before, was he not?
Yes.
Isn't that where he started? Chris Middleton, who was not and has not been healthy, healthy as their small forward, to go with Giannis, who is, of course, arguably the best player in the entire world. And then Brook Lopez, who just does what Brook Lopez does. And I know that sounds like a throwaway statement. What I mean is he knows his role. He knows how to play. He's going to, at the very least, lean all over Domantas Sabonis tonight, make life hard for him. This is a 7-foot, 300-pound guy that can move, that's going to, by the way, still averaging 15 and 6 this year, and he's going to pull him out of the key a little bit.
That's the big thing I look at with Domas having his work cut out for him is, and especially the Kings, is now who's going to grab boards if Domas has to be pulled out to guard Lopez on the perimeter.
Who's shooting, by the way, almost 42% from beyond the arc, and he's shooting 6 threes a game.
He's been really good. I mean, he's been really good since going to Milwaukee. I think that team is he just fits there like a glove.
Yes.
I thought it was very, it was very Lakery for them to just let him walk to Milwaukee, when he had played in Los Angeles. But yeah, you have to contest with that. Giannis is just going to kind of be underneath the boards on his own when Lopez is out there stretching the floor. And that's terrifying.
It is, because
your next biggest guy is what? Harrison,
Mezzi?
Well, Mezzi off the bench, I'm saying early on, man.
It's scary, dude. It's really, really scary. The fact that you're going to have Lopez pulling Sabonis out, or they're just going to have to switch.
Yeah.
Which is what I think is going to have to happen. They're going to have to go to some sort of a zone at some point, I would think. And they're just going to have to switch. Listen, Harrison Barnes can guard Brook Lopez on the perimeter.
Sure.
Can't guard him down low, but he can guard him on the perimeter. If you take Sabonis out, and that's what I would do, I would pull Brook Lopez out and have him shoot 10 stinking threes tonight. Keep Sabonis out there if he trails. And now you've got, as you said, Giannis down below going up against Barnes and Murray.
Oh, my.
Yeah, right. Here's the bottom line. If Brook Lopez somewhat cancels out Domantas Sabonis, if they cancel each other out, Kings probably lose by 20.
Oh, for sure.
Kings probably lose by 20. Now, on the other hand, Brook Lopez can't guard Domantas Sabonis on the perimeter, not even close. I expect, if I was Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo is probably going to check Sabonis. And that's a different story, because Giannis is excellent at moving his feet. He's quick. He's quicker than Sabonis. That will be I'm talking about Sabonis versus Giannis when Sabonis is on offense. That will be a very, very fun matchup. And for the Kings to win it, they're going to have to hope that Giannis, if that's what happens, comes out to Sabonis at the top of the key, and Sabonis is going to have to distribute, and they're going to have to rely on Lopez down below and not Giannis blocking shots.
You say Lopez down below, but if that's the case and you switch Giannis on to Sabonis, well, one of two things is going to happen. One, Brook Lopez is now going to have to be pulled out of the key because the Kings have shooters on the perimeter, or someone's going to get some wide open looks out there tonight.
Yes, and I think that's the case.
And it's going to be one of Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes. And to me, they're the key there on offense. If one of those two guys, Milwaukee just says, hey, screw it. Yeah. If we're going to lose tonight, it has to be between Barnes and Murray. Those guys, this is the game for Keegan Murray to really step into the limelight, so to speak.
I would go a step further with you, too. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. I think Kevin Huerter is also the key to the game.
Oh, for sure.
Kevin Huerter is the key to the game tonight, because if he's hitting from outside, Keegan.
They're not leaving Kevin Huerter open, though.
No, and now you're probably going to have Chris Middleton checking Kevin Huerter. Grayson Allen is really, if anything, the hole in that defense, and he's not terrible defensively. He's just it's a hole in that defense. You might see Grayson and Kevin Huerter matching up, which will be a fun matchup.
You might also see Grayson try to get in Keegan's head if Keegan gets going.
Of course. Well, and good luck.
Grayson is the closest thing in the NBA to a goon.
Yes, he is definitely that. That was his role at Duke. That's his role in the NBA. It's a tough matchup. I'm very. And by the way, this is where it's an embarrassment of riches. He wasn't functional in Sacramento, but George Hill is still a very functional NBA player off the bench. Javon Carter is a good player. Bobby Portis is a guy that the Bucks re-signed last year that is incredibly important to them off the bench.
He was key to them winning the title.
Absolutely was, and a guy that can come in and just throw some muscle around. He's a hustle guy. This is a hustle, grindy, defensive team and a terrible matchup for Sacramento. But this is not the Kings team of old. They have their work cut out for him for sure, but there is work that can be done. Let's get to 3 in the key right now. No Jason Ross today, so it's just you and me, which means I'm guaranteed a victory. Called my shot. Did you see that?
Wow.
Like Babe Ruth. Right. I called my shot.
All right, babe.
No, don't. That's weird.
That's what we're doing for the
rest
rest
of the second. Babe.
So, babe, the Kings hold Giannis to how many points tonight? Because they're going to hold him because they're going to play good defense. We're going with a positive spin on Giannis' point total.
I think they will hold Giannis to 37.
Okay. I'm going to say 31.
31.
Write these down. All right. 3-point field goals made by Kevin Huerter.
You know what? I think the power. Is this the first time we've had him live on a game day or second?
Well, when you guys had him live, was it a game day? I wasn't here.
I think it was. I think he was just on the road.
Oh.
I think they played the following day. I think he's going to get some show karma. I'm going to go 5 threes for Kevin Huerter tonight.
I'll go 4.
Okay.
And finally, give me total points and rebounds for one Keegan Murray.
Total points and rebounds, I'm going to go with 18. I think it's going to be I think it's a very tough night.
I'm sorry, I should say total points and total rebounds.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm going to go with 12 and 6 for Keegan, which isn't terrible.
It's not good.
It's not great. I think he's going to have a tough night tonight.
I think Keegan's going to get some open looks tonight. He's looked better as of late. I'm going to go with 17 points and 8 boards.
Can I say that I hope you're right?
I would hope you would hope I'm right.
I very much hope you're right. Also, later on in the program, Steve Kerr said some really nice things about Mike Brown and what's going on in Sacramento. It's always very cool to hear from around the league what respected folks are saying. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had something to say.
No, I was just fading down.
You gave me that look. Jason Ross will be back tomorrow, by the way, if you guys are wondering. We'll continue. In fact, we kind of moved past Sac State Trivia. We'll do that in the 8 o'clock hour. I want to remind you, Kevin Huerter is going to join us in about a half an hour. It's a game day, so we're moving him up an hour from 8:27 to 7:27, of course, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. And then Katie Christensen will join us from Milwaukee at 8. Beautiful, sunny Milwaukee, I believe.
Oh, Milwaukee this time of year. They say it's, the only thing closest to it is like going to Cabo.
You know where Milwaukee, the name originated?
Isn't it?
It's Algonquin for the good life.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it is. It's a true fact. Could it be miraculous?
Is that true? Or are you Ron Burgundy me right now?
It's a line from Wayne's World, and I do believe it's actually true.
You know what? You're right. I forgot all about that. But.
Yep. Could it be miraculous news for your San Francisco 49ers? We have a Jimmy G injury update that could have reverberations on the team's Super Bowl chances. We'll explain next.
Hey, Kings fans, you got questions? We got answers. Send all your Kings questions to Kings Mailbag at SacktownSports.com and have them answered by the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and Cattles and Rami during our Kings Mailbag segment every Friday on Sacktown Sports' YouTube channel.
Subscribe today by searching Sacktown Sports on YouTube.
The only place to get wall-to-wall Kings coverage in the 916, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Peak Conventional to save on motor oil for your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Get the complete job done at the right price at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
There is beauty and there's uncomfort in owning an older home. The craftsmanship back then, the way they were built, the character, all have their positives. Now, on the other side, older homes need some love and some tenderness, and in our case, some help. Jason Ross here to tell you about the help we're getting thanks to ACR Solar. Now, you hear solar, and you know what? Yes, they do solar, but after years and years of living at our house, the time has come to get a new roof. Our old roof has done its job, but it is done. It's tired, and it looks it. So after doing the proper research and talking with several roofing companies, we landed on ACR Solar. They stood out from the first visit when Joe, their roofing expert, came out and shared his knowledge. We knew at that moment we were at ease because we were in good hands. Also, after our conversations with John, the owner of ACR Solar, that just confirmed what my wife and I already knew, that ACR Solar was the right choice for us. So we're so excited to begin our journey with ACR Solar. We're going to have a beautiful new roof, become more energy efficient, and have the peace of mind we're looking for. ACR Solar, 916-481-2700, or you can visit them at acrsolar.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The holiday season is meant for family and friends, not for auto accidents. Let us take this time for a gentle reminder for everyone to use extra care while driving this holiday season. There are more cars on the road, and rain is always just around the corner. If you do need Ashton & Price, we'll be here for you. And as always, the consultation is free, and there is never a fee unless you win. So whether you've been naughty or nice, let us wish you the happiest holidays from the injury law firm of Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your local utilities are offering up to $11,000 in rebates to make energy-saving home improvements. Turn to the experts at Clark & Rush and Carrier, your rebate specialists. License 608005. These home electrification upgrades will lower your energy bills and put rebate cash in your pocket. We'll even do the paperwork. You enjoy the rebates.
Smart energy savings is what we do. Clark and Rush.
Call 916-609-2681.
It's true, the best new cars make the best used cars. That's why you'll always find a great selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Trade up to a car you'll love. We have a great selection of one-owner, low-mile vehicles you can drive home today. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, curbside pickup, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Sacramento State football is hosting a playoff game this Friday night at 7:30 against Incarnate Word. Tickets start at just $10. Go to hornetsports.com.
The flagship.
Ball game. Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. The flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports headlines.
With your Sacktown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings start a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Milwaukee. The Kings come into the game having won 3 straight, while Milwaukee went 2-0 on a quick road trip that saw them visit Charlotte and Orlando. Kings guard Terrence Davis is questionable to play tonight with a back injury, and Joe Ingles is out for the Bucks as he recovers from a knee injury. Coverage starts with game night at 3:30 on Sacktown Sports. 49ers fans can breathe a sigh of relief as Jimmy Garoppolo's broken foot is not the dreaded Liz Frank injury. Jimmy G is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, which would put him in line to return this season should the 49ers advance deep in the NFC playoffs. The New York Yankees have re-signed outfielder and reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year, $360 million deal. This is the third highest total value contract in MLB history. The San Francisco Giants signed Mariners slugger Mitch Haniger to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Haniger struggled to stay on the field for Seattle last season, appearing in just 57 games. The previous season, however, Haniger appeared in 157 games, hitting 39 home runs and clubbing 100 RBI. Coming up today, Jiffy Lube presents the Kevin Huerter Show at 7:27, and Kings color analyst Katie Christensen joins us at 8 from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
And we look into everything, but it surprised me right now. We got to discuss more this afternoon and stuff, but I've always been a fan of his, but feel real good about our players, and we'll look into everything, but I feel pretty good with where we're at right now.
Well, just like the Rams tried to step in and grab Christian McCaffrey from the Niners when Carolina was shopping him, they did step in and they get Baker Mayfield. That does not mean the Niners
did not put a claim in on him. So
the Niners would not have grabbed him either way. And it turns out, as you heard in Jay's update, by the way, Jason will be back with us tomorrow. The Liz Frank injury. By the way, I went to school with Liz Frank's girl. It's fun.
She
we used to go hang out at the bar.
Few stories about her, but Liz. I'll leave those alone.
Yeah, it did not happen with Jimmy. He will not require surgery, which means he has a 7 to 8 week recovery timetable. Now, on the bright side, that recovery could even move up. You've seen it happen before. On the dark side, that might take a little longer.
Well, the other side of that, too, is that nobody's talking about is, the 49ers could not make the playoffs still. That's in the realm of possibility. I think they will. They lose in the first round. None of it matters.
None of it matters. But he could be available for the divisional round.
Yeah.
You had a funny question you wrote in our notes here. For Niner fans, is Jimmy Garoppolo the person you date on and off only to realize how much you want them when they're gone? I think there's something to that. And I'll use my marriage as an analogy, as an example, because it always makes sense. And it's super, hold on, 7:01. Okay, she's still home. She's not driving yet. I got to check the clock. My wife has made my life miserable on and off for going on 16 years now.
Congrats.
Of everybody in our friend group, right? Understood, really, truly, it wasn't a matter of when Melissa and I were going to get a divorce. It was when.
Sounds like Jimmy and Kyle and the Niners organization as a whole.
I met my wife in October. She was pregnant the following March. We had Avery the following October. She got pregnant the following April. We had Mason the following October. 2 years and 2 days from the day I met my
trend
wife.
Here.
I was married with 2 kids. It's not the ideal way to start. Many, many times I thought about leaving my wife, as I'm sure she thought about leaving me. I'm very comfortable sharing this because we're going on 16 years of marriage. What stopped me? Well, a number of things. Part of it was, but what else is out there? And of all the stuff I'm dealing with and she's dealing with me, is it really worth the door number 3? Are we really that miserable? Is it really that bad? And the answer was no. And thank God, I love my wife. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her.
And you also look at it. You look at the draft, so to speak, and hey, I got to pick. But
yeah,
what's the pool looking like?
I was picking in the low 20s. And I'm getting people that didn't. I'm in the wife draft. Mm-hmm. By the way, also, I'm not a big market. I'm not an attractive market to land in, so I've got to pick and choose.
Sacramento Kings.
I am the Sacramento Kings of prospective husbands, and I've got to pick and choose who I can keep. With Jimmy Garoppolo, he has flaws.
Lots.
A lot of flaws. And at some point, many points, he makes you a little miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you think about moving on, and by the way, for a game and a half, they did move on with the hot girl down the street you met at the gym.
Yeah.
But then you're sitting there watching Jeopardy. And one of the questions is, what color is the wall? And her answer is hamburger. And you go, uh-oh.
We're not insinuating Trey Lance is stupid, by the way.
No, not at all. Just simply, the grass is greener. Now, Trey Lance may end up being the end-all be-all, and as an Niner fan, I hope he is. So you go back, you reconcile, and it's like an old, comfortable blanket.
Yep.
And it's itchy, but it works and it keeps you warm. And that's Jimmy, to further the analogy. And now they've lost him again.
Yep.
Now they've lost him again, and instead of the cozy, warm blanket, they're now using the towels that are left over from your dad and passed down that he put under the car for oil changes.
Now, we're not saying Brock Purdy is necessarily a dirty towel.
At all. We're saying that, boy, do we wish. At one point earlier this year, I was praying that Jimmy would go somewhere else.
Same.
And bring on the Trey Lance era. But other things that you can't factor in. And they have factored in again. You hope Brock Purdy, to be honest, if we really want to end this analogy and put it out of his misery, Brock Purdy is the low-end person you used to date in high school that all of a sudden blossoms into something that everyone else missed, and you won the lottery. But the odds of that happening are not great. And meanwhile, you got your wife of 16 years hanging out over there saying, well, I'm going to try to come back. I'm going to do the best I can.
Right.
Can you win a championship with her? I don't know. Can you make the playoffs and win more games than you lose? Yeah.
And then with Brock Purdy, yesterday I was down a rabbit hole of all the different, things people are saying about him, from media to coaching to players. And he played really well in absence of Jimmy G last weekend. And we kind of talked about this, though, earlier in the week. I think right now there is so much hype around Brock Purdy because of that game and because of everything everybody is saying. There's a lot of people within the 49ers fan base that feels like the 49ers just upgraded. That going from Jimmy Garoppolo to Mr. Irrelevant in this past draft, based upon 3.5 quarters of play, that they've upgraded. I am here to tell you, I would not die on that hill right now. I would not die on that hill at all.
It's a hill that might work.
But it's a hill that might work.
Odds are it won't.
But I have a feeling that by the end of the season, and the 49ers, if they are limping into the playoffs, or even if, they've managed to make it despite Brock Purdy, are going to really be hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy come playoff time. I truly feel that way. And that's a weird thing to say as somebody who, like you, wanted to see Jimmy shipped out prior to the season. We don't need the distraction. But man, are we all wrong in the sense of, boy, I am so glad Jimmy Garoppolo ended up being Trey Lance's backup quarterback. And this shows now, with Trey Lance out for the year and with Jimmy on the shelf for, 7 to 8 weeks reportedly, it goes back to the analogy we said. I know you have flaws, but man, life was really good with you.
Yeah, that's the point. Yes. I realize now that your flaws aren't as big as I thought. I've seen the grass on the other side. The problem is we don't know with Brock Purdy. And coming up at 7:44, we're going to discuss ways that Purdy could keep the job, even if, what does he have to do to keep the job, even if Jimmy is healthy and available for a game? Because right now, Brock Purdy is basically, his job is to tread water.
Yeah, no, just here's that term again. You ready for it? He has to be a game manager.
And we're going to find out a little bit more about him against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to find a lot about him the following week when other teams have full game films to look at.
And who's that next team?
Who is that next team?
Is that Seattle, if I'm not mistaken? Which is essentially the division. They win that game, they win the division, I feel like.
they win that game, they definitely win the division. It would take a miracle. They don't clinch it.
That means beating Tampa Bay also.
Yeah, it would take. I think even if they lose to Tampa Bay, if they beat Seattle, again, they'd be effectively tied, but they'd have that tiebreaker. And the way those two schedules pop up, either way, it's not worth.
That's a Thursday night game too, so you got to factor this in. They're playing Sunday against the Bucs. Then Brock Purdy has just a few days to get ready for, again, the game that will likely determine the division. That's rough, man, to ask on a rookie QB. And this is, again, not a rookie QB who comes in with all these accolades. This is the final pick of the draft.
Yeah, but let me present this to you. They play Tampa on Sunday. Okay. And then the Seattle Seahawks just have 3 days to prepare for Brock Purdy. We got to look at it from both sides.
I'm sorry, but had I told you in week 1 the NFC West was going to come down to a Geno Smith Brock Purdy matchup?
Yes, let's go.
You would have called me a liar.
Meanwhile, Kyler Murray and Matt Stafford are on the outside looking in.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Rams are going to start Baker Mayfield likely this Thursday, 2 days after picking him up.
Oh,
what a mess the Rams have been. I didn't think they were going to replicate what they did last season just because usually Super Bowl teams do not.
Right.
I didn't think they were going to be that bad. Holy Lord. And there's a lot of injuries there. I get it. But good Lord, man. Did you think the Rams would be, arguably the second or third worst team in the NFL this year?
No. And if we're being honest, dude, this is about of all the 5-game stretches you could have, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Washington, Vegas, Arizona. Now, Washington's better than what we thought. Seattle is better than what we thought. I don't ever count out a Tom Brady team, especially this late in the year. And by the way, they're leading their division. I don't care what the record is. They're relevant in the playoff conversation.
And the Raiders are still trying to make the playoffs. They're going to come in looking to win that game. They're not going to roll over.
Yep. So this 5-game stretch, what's crazy about it is with Jimmy Garoppolo, people be talking about them going 5-0, running the table, having won 10 straight.
Yeah. Well, that's how we were feeling.
That's exactly how this team was trending. It's exactly how this team was trending. As a matter of fact, 84-24 has been the margin in their last 3 games. Do
you have the second half numbers in front of you? Because I know those are crazy.
I can tell you this, for Miami, it was 16-7. Okay, so remember that, 16-7. For New Orleans, it was 3-0. Okay, so that's 19-7. And for Arizona, last one here, is we're at 19-7?
Mm-hmm.
For Arizona, my goodness, it was
a lot to know.
They've outscored their last 3 opponents 40-7.
That's pretty good.
In the last 3 second halves. And you know what? That defense is going to have to keep doing that for this team to keep winning. Let's take a break. When we come back, 3 for Madness time. What is the most random Kings jersey you own? The Kings are doing this on social media. I want to expand it. Feel free to throw in some form of random Kings merchandise as well, because there's some randos out there I know you and I both own. And on a big anniversary, we'll explain what that is. Pick just one sport that Bo Jackson could play if you had a time machine. You get to pick just one. 3 first next.
The Kings take on the Bucs Wednesday in Milwaukee to kick off a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip.
Watching Monk go for 3 and score the 3.
Coverage starts at 3:30 with Game Night on Sacktown Sports.
There's nothing worse than being cold and uncomfortable in your own home. Make sure you and your family are able to enjoy the holidays this winter. At American Energy Heat and Air, they want to make sure your furnace is running safely and efficiently during these cold months for only $49. Take advantage of their 30-point tune-up today. I did. I took advantage of it in the spring, got my air conditioner taken care of. They were out at my house checking everything. It was so cool. They didn't know it was me. I had my wife sign up so they wouldn't know it was me. Wanted to do that test. They were so polite, so nice. Didn't try to sell me on anything. Just took care of my AC, and I was nice and cool all summer. American Energy, proudly servicing the Sacramento community since 1981, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Book your tune-up today for just $49. Call 916-520-9990 or visit them at AmericanEnergyAir.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Magnus on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Question 1.
In just under 15 minutes, 7:27. Remember, we're moving Kevin Huerter up because it's game day. They will have shoot-around when he would normally come on at 8:27. He will join us by phone live from Milwaukee.
Huerter.
Ahead of, what was that, a bird?
Yeah.
It's not Kevin Berger.
Huerter.
He will join us at 7:27. In the meantime, Jason Ross will return tomorrow. He's out sick today. Jay Mars stepping up. 3 for Madness. Question 1.
The Kings put out a fun tweet the other day asking people what random jersey they have in their closet that they've been waiting to bust out. What's the most random Kings jersey you own? And the most random piece of Kings memorabilia you own.
All right. Jerseys, probably Ben McLemore, Jimmer Fredette. I don't know which is more random.
I would say Macklemore. I think Fredette had that rookie season. There was a lot of Jimmer merchandise.
There
out
was.
there.
That's true.
A lot of hope for Jim.
I mean, I don't have a Doobie jersey like some guy busted out the other day. I have a Dante Green jersey, but is that
That's
random?
pretty random.
Okay, so Dante Green.
I've seen a few Simbular jerseys out there. That's random. There was the one guy who, God bless him, had the Stones to post a picture of himself in his Papa Giannis jersey.
Oh God. Well, that's a wonderful jersey. I would actually wear that. Dude, memorabilia, the random stuff, it's just too much. I have a bowling pin from the Kings Bowling Classic.
That's pretty cool.
I have a hard hat from the arena. But random stuff, I still have a Here We Rise rally towel. And I actually, because I spilled something on mine way back when, I don't know, maybe like just 5 years ago. It was fairly recently. I bought off of eBay, and it was only like $20. I bought a perfect copy of the Greatest Show on Court SI, and I
got it framed, right?
Oh, it's framed and it's on my wall. But yeah, I mean, one of these days we'll have to have a show and tell or something. You?
Okay, so random jersey. I have a black and purple split, checkered sides.
Yes.
Thomas Robinson that I got the next game after he got traded, because it wasn't even 50% off. I want to say it was like 70% off. I must have paid like maybe $20 for it.
Really?
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? Why the hell not? And I still got it.
Could we? Can you bring that in?
I gotta go to storage and find it. It's in storage. And then most random piece of memorabilia, I have a 1987 authentic game worn Michael Jackson warm-up top.
By the way, Michael Jackson used to play for the Kings. No, he was not that Michael Jackson.
Nope, different Michael Jackson.
Or the other Michael Jackson, no.
Although this Michael Jackson, when he would make a 3, would moonwalk. Not that great, but, shout out to him. It was a cute gimmick.
Is this the most random thing? I completely forgot about this. You jogged my memory. I have the huge, as big as this wall behind me, black canvas backdrop that they interviewed DeMarcus Cousins in front of for the 2010 NBA draft.
That is extremely random. And yes, that takes
the actual backdrop.
That takes the pie.
They were going to throw it out. I got to bring it. It's in my garage. I'll bring it in.
That is the winner. That is. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
No. Number 2.
Question 2.
Aaron Judge got paid. Got 9 years, $360 million. Did the Yankees overspend to re-sign the reigning AL MVP?
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, I hate sports guy that's like, it's too much money just because it's a lot of money. Listen, the market is what dictates. And too much money is
the capitalist society, guys.
That's exactly right. But I think, for what that's going to be, and I'm not talking about the end of the deal because every deal is crap at the end of the almost every deal is that long-term is crap by the end.
I agree.
But it's a Kevin Brown corollary with your Dodgers. What was that? 105 million back in the day. It was fine.
7 and 105.
Yeah, it was something silly.
But in that time, which is the early 2000s when he signs it,
it was the
biggest contract in baseball history at the time.
So yeah, but also they had to do it.
Yes.
If I take my Giantsness out, and again, I've said I didn't like that much placement of assets on him, so I'm fine with them not signing him. But as a pure baseball fan, if I take my Giantsness out, the Yankees had to get him. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was the only other option.
It was the right place to go. And I was really also a little bit worried leading up because a lot of times with this goofiness, this is what happens. I'm really glad that a Dodgers or a Padres or a Rangers or some rando unheard of secret team didn't bust in at the last minute and come over the top. He belongs in New York. He's a Yankee. He deserves to have that number retired someday. Because I think that honestly, the Yankees have like 4 numbers left people can wear. Because every number
like the Celtics.
Yeah, but it made sense to me. Number 3.
Question 3.
On this day,
in
1985, Bo Jackson wins the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
If you had to convince Bo to play just one sport back then, would it have been baseball or football?
Am I coming at this, Jay, from a sports fan or from somebody who cares about Bo Jackson?
You are Bo Jackson's agent.
I am Bo Jackson's agent. That Bo Jackson is playing only baseball. I understand. As a sports fan, I got more joy out of watching him play football. Not that he wasn't an amazing baseball player, but football was just Bo. That, to me, when I think of Bo, I think of a football player that excelled at baseball, not a baseball player that also played football. He is a football guy to me, and that's ultimately where he got hurt in that game against the Bengals. I will never forget. Anybody watching that play live will remember it. It was a tackle that seemed like one of, if you've never looked at the injury that Bo suffered that effectively ended his career, you should go on YouTube. And I don't say that about injuries that often, but this is my point. It wasn't gruesome. It wasn't gross. It was a normal looking tackle that you've seen 10,000 times, but it wasn't a normal tackle. It didn't do the normal thing to his body, and it effectively ended his career way, way, way short. I would have put him in baseball. I would have had him be a Royal forever. And would we have had Bo Jackson's career was like a really hot burning match, and it went out way too early.
Agreed.
When I was a little kid, we had to do a report in school. I'll never forget. I was in like 4th grade. And we had to pick an athlete, and the guy I picked was Jim Thorpe. And if you don't know who Jim Thorpe is, look it up. But for a long time, he was considered the most legendary all-around athlete in American history. And Bo Jackson, to me, was that generation's Jim Thorpe. He just went, he almost like Paul Bunyan, Jim Thorpe. Like, you get where I'm going, like larger than life, legendary, and almost mythical the older we get, where it turns into a, did you ever see Bo play? And the stories of the things Bo did are still absolutely legendary. We'll have to go over that list someday. What about you, Jay?
I think you make a great argument. I think football is the right answer, and here's why.
Oof.
The number 1 overall pick in 86 by the Bucks. He could have negotiated at that time a massive contract because he also had the baseball thing and could have just said, hey, I'm going there. Similar to kind of what John Elway did when he dictated his way to Denver. It's because he was ready to go play for the Yankees if he was not good, if they didn't make that move. I think Bo was in a similar position to do so and could have signed and made more money on that initial contract than he probably did his entire career. Number 2, I think Bo Jackson is probably, again, he never goes to the Raiders if this happens. I'm going to then make the assumption that he's relatively healthy throughout his career at a point in the NFL where the run game was just the end-all be-all on offense. I think Bo would have been a Hall of Fame.
That's where he gets hurt, though.
I think Bo was a Hall of Fame football player and a Hall of Good baseball player if he went that route.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. We'll take a break. Sorry, it was a little off-air stuff. On the road means, and how much time we got? We got about a minute left. 2 minutes left. Let me get back to what you were saying. I don't disagree with that. Other than you said I'm his agent.
I know.
If I'm his agent, I want him to play in a sport where he can play as long as possible and make a ton of money. He could have done that in both, but the odds are dramatically higher that he's going to play longer in baseball.
He's going to play longer, but that doesn't necessarily, again, you have to remember the time, mean he's going to make more money.
There were still very, very good contracts.
Oh, I'm not saying there
in
wasn't.
baseball back then.
But, man, if you're a Hall of Fame level running back at that time, I think you make more money. You just do.
I mean, he was an all-star in 89.
Yes.
Bo Jackson.
John Jaha was once an MLB All-Star too.
I don't know which Bo Jackson memory I enjoyed the most from the NFL. Was it his? Oh God, were these both against the Seahawks? There was his
the Bosworth one. Which
the Bosworth one, of course, where Brian Bosworth coming out of Oklahoma, the hair, the whole thing. If you go back and you look at it, it was a little overplayed because Bo was running full speed and Brian Bosworth was stationary at like the 1 yard line.
Still great.
Guess what? You're going to get run over. But he basically completely demoralized. He basically ended Brian Bosworth's career without injuring
mentally.
him. He struck down the whole mystique of Brian Bosworth in one hit. But then the other one, I want to say, someone out there will know. Was it against the Seahawks also where he ran for the touchdown and it was on Monday Night Football and he kept running down the locker room? I believe that is the Seahawks. I want to say they were both against the Seahawks as well. A lot of great memories.
Old AFC West Seahawks.
The old AFC West Seahawks. They're on the road, and that means we got an early Kevin Huerter show. Kevin joins us live from Milwaukee next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
He's got the triple. Keegan Murray with his 5th three-pointer of the night.
Hey, Sacramento. It's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Bogey Jones and the Daily Divot, golf is the best sport ever, and they provide a few reasons why. Some include no two courses are the same, so you'll never get bored. Some are wicked long, others have super thick rough, and others have fast greens. Enjoy the variety. You can make the game competitive with anyone. With other sports, bigger, stronger, younger opponents may have an edge. In golf, different tees and a formal handicap system makes it competitive even if you're a 30 handicap. Golf can't be conquered. One day you can't miss a shot, the next day you want to throw all your clubs into the lake. The unpredictability is fascinating. Age is just a number. You can play when you're 70 years old. In fact, some don't take up the game until later in life, but don't wait that long. And you'll meet amazing people, celebrities, athletes, successful CEOs. You never know who you'll meet on a golf course. And, oh yeah, it's a game. Have some fun out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Sacktown Sports headlines.
With your Sacktown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings start a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Milwaukee. The Kings come into the game having won 3 straight games, while Milwaukee went 2-0 on a quick road trip that saw them visit Charlotte and Orlando. Kings guard Terrence Davis is questionable to play tonight with a back injury, and Joe Ingles is out for the Bucks as he recovers from a knee injury. Coverage begins with game night at 3:30 on Sacktown Sports. 49ers fans can breathe a sigh of relief as Jimmy Garoppolo's broken foot is not the dreaded Lisfranc injury. Jimmy G is expected to miss up to 8 weeks. Yeah, weeks, that's the correct word, which would put him in line to return this season should the 49ers advance deep in the NFC playoffs. The New York Yankees have re-signed outfielder and reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year, $360 million deal. This is the 3rd highest total value contract in MLB history. The San Francisco Giants signed Mariners slugger Mitch Haniger to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Haniger struggled to stay on the field for Seattle last season, appearing in just 57 games. The previous season, though, Haniger appeared in 157 games, hitting 39 home runs and 100 RBI. Coming up right now, Jiffy Lube presents the Kevin Huerter Show, followed by Kings color analyst Katie Christensen at 8 from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Kevin Huerter Show.
The Huerter for 3 rips the courts for the first 3 points of the ball game. Welcome to Sacramento, Kevin Huerter.
The Kevin Huerter Show.
Huerter, bring up another triple.
Brought to you by Jiffy Lube. With over 25 locations in the greater Sacramento area, get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season today.
Joining us right now. Now, we do each and every Wednesday at 8:27. But they're on the road. And if we were going to get Kevin at 8:27 today, he'd have to pause, probably shoot around or something, which I don't think Coach Brown would be too
Oh,
big
he'd
of a
be
fan
fine
of.
with
You
it.
think Coach Brown would be fine with that? Joining us right now, brought to you by Jiffy Lube from Milwaukee, Kevin Huerter. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
You tell me, my man. Big 6-game road trip, one of 2 6-game road trips the team has all year. How is sunny and love? Are you by the pool right now in Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, sunny, nice and warm. I got a nice beverage in hand, just really taking in the nice Milwaukee weather.
You know, this is a 6-game road trip, and right out of the gate, you're playing one of the better teams in the NBA. We were talking earlier, and of course, media never knows what they're talking about. When you go on the road, everyone loves being at home around their friends and family, but isn't there something about being on the road? You guys are dining together, hanging out, bonding, and really getting away and focusing on basketball. Is there something to that?
There is. That is a good time when you go on the road, especially these types of long road trips, is that everybody's in the same boat. Everyone's trying to get out of their rooms, and everybody's got to eat. It's a great time for all of us to hang out, and it's a lot easier to be social on day 1 than it is on day 10 or 11. But it's going to be a long trip. It'll be a good time for all of us to get together and break bread and hopefully bond a little bit together to help us out the rest of the year.
Before we get to the nuts and bolts and numbers and stuff, how do you where every player has their own way of passing time on the road, video games, books, TV, whatever. What are you doing on the plane? What are you doing in your hotel room to pass time?
I watch a lot of TV shows. I do a lot, especially on the road. I FaceTime a lot of family, friends, and I used to bring my gaming system on the road my first couple years, and then honestly just became too much of a hassle. The hotel Wi-Fi and your connection obviously to the internet was too tough to find on the road, and the worst is bringing your system and dragging it all the way to cities, and then you don't have the Wi-Fi to support you playing the game. And so I just stopped bringing it and started trying to find different things to do.
Any recommendations before we get into it, TV wise?
I could talk to you for an hour about recommendations. I'm currently I'm on Yellowstone right now, season 4, so I'm knocking that thing out.
Nope. Okay, well then I'll put it this way, because I have not had a lot of time to watch TV, and I always look at these lists, and it says it's Yellowstone, it's Andor. There was like 2 other TV. Better Call Saul, which I haven't watched, and I can't remember the other. But if you've watched any or all of those, is there one you'd point to for the fans?
I haven't seen Better Call Saul.
Okay.
I was a big Breaking Bad guy back in the day.
Same.
But I've seen Billions. That was the last one I watched, and like I said, I'm on Yellowstone now. Big Ozark guy.
Okay.
So it's I got a lot of free time, especially on the road. So I've seen a lot of shows.
We asked you last week. We all, when you were shooting lights out at the beginning of the year, it was, is it sustainable? Of course it's sustainable. And then last week when we talked, you'd had a little stumble from outside, but yet we're making it happen in other ways. And that's continued. Your 3-point shooting is obviously not what it was at the beginning of the year. You're finding other ways to get involved. And one of the reasons I love having this, being able to talk to folks like you, Kevin, is just understanding the mental strength and the mental side of the game. So for you, do you push harder? Do you back off? Do you forget about it? How do you go through when you're in, for lack of a better term, a 3-point shooting slump?
It's tough. It's the ups and downs of a season. Unfortunately, this type of thing, it usually happens every year. You go through so many valleys, and you just obviously try to come out the other side, and you get hot for a couple of weeks, and you can fix your percentages and mentally get yourself there. But for me, it's if I'm not making shots, I get back in the gym. It's I got to go get more extra shots up. These last couple home games, right after games, I'm usually going and getting a bunch of shots up afterwards, and just trying to refine your confidence and obviously see the ball go through the hoop. And after a couple games, and if it's still not falling, you try something else, and maybe you don't shoot and you try to get away from the game. We had an off day yesterday. I got completely away from the game, just trying to get a mental reset. And then yesterday was a travel day, flew to Milwaukee. Today we got to shoot around and, get a bunch of shots up again today. But it's just trying to refine your rhythm, doing that through practice, and when you can, getting yourself away from the game mentally.
Kevin Huerter, brought to you by Jiffy Lube, joining us on the Kevin Huerter Show. The extent of my understanding of jump shots is balance, eyes, elbows, follow through, which I learned in 7th grade at basketball camp. You're in a world-class elite shooter. I would imagine it's a mental tug when the amount of time you spend in the gym, the amount of time you spend on your craft. It's one thing, Kevin, if it's like, oh, my elbow's out, or hey, my pinky's not doing the thing, or I'm closing one, something simple that you can correct. Mentally, how do you deal with it when you're going through all of your checks and you're like, dude, I'm doing absolutely everything correctly? Then what do you do?
Oh yeah, I mean that's just the thing. Sometimes they just don't fall. It's you get in games and everything feels good, the shot looks good, and it just doesn't go in. It's part of the game, and there's plenty of times where it goes the opposite way. It doesn't feel good, and you go into a game and you shoot 5 times and none of them feel good, and 4 of them go in. And it's just the game. It's the mental ups and downs. It's such a long year. I think I've said that at length. It's such a long year. It's 82 games. You're going to go through these types of shooting slumps, and you can't lose your confidence. You got to, like you said, you go through your check marks and you practice, and you just got to trust it and find your confidence.
You said something there. You'll be able to tell me if this is valid or not. I certainly can't. But when you just said, some games you don't feel great in practice and then everything goes in, or of course the opposite. You're great in practice and you're missing everything. The only thing I can relate to there, Kevin, is I'll go to the driving range sometimes and I'm hitting the hell out of the ball, and then I get on the first tee and it's sliced right 300 yards or 200 yards. And there's sometimes I'm grounding my 7-iron 100 yards and I get out and I'm flushing the sucker. Is it kind of the same thing mentally when it comes to the driving range in golf as it is what you're talking about in basketball?
It is. I mean, the practice court's obviously different from the real thing,
sure,
especially when you got a bunch of people watching you. And like I said, the tough part is when everything feels good and you get in the game and things aren't falling. But, I mean, I'm with you there in golf. There's not a lot of times where my ball goes straight, whether it's on the practice green or the actual course. So that would be very similar.
Kevin Huerter with us. Your defense and the team defense, we see all the metrics. I'm sure you do too. This team is doing better defensively than it has in years, and just over the last few games, better than it's done in decades. Mike Brown comes in and he's got a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of new folks on the team like yourself. Is this just a matter of, the effort was always there, it seemed, of finally Mike getting through repetition, practice, and sustainability now?
Yeah, it's been a lot of repetition. It's we definitely work on it. Worked on it really hard in training camp and continue to do so over these first 20 games. Personnel wise, I think we have a lot of guys that play heavy minutes that you'd say that their strength on NBA court comes on the offensive end. And that's, I think, talent wise and offensively, we're one of the elite teams in the NBA. And it's the whole time that we've just talked, like if we can just get our defense to be top 15, like we'd be really tough to beat. And he's preached that all year. I think we've gone through stretches, especially in different games, where we've been able to put together stops and we've needed to, but just haven't been able to sustain it over the course of the game. And I think more and more we're realizing the importance of that into the court. Guys are staying locked in longer. We played some really good teams to start the year. I think that had a lot to do with it. We played at home the last 3 games. We've been really good defensively, and 2 of those were at home, which always helps. But we got 6 games on the road against a lot of teams towards the top of the East. So that defense is definitely going to be tested.
You guys have been home the last 3 games, but 4 games ago, 3 games ago, you guys are on the road. I thought the best win of the year was Cleveland. A lot of talk about what the most quality win is, but the fact that you guys played 2 games in a 26-hour period over the weekend, home and away, and won them both. Kevin, you guys ran the Clippers off the floor. They're obviously missing some guys. Doesn't matter. They're pros. You ran them off the floor, and you're sitting there playing, Kevin, in the 4th quarter, and you're hearing Staples Center or Crypto, whatever it is. You're hearing Light the Beam chants. Did you hear those chants at the time? And what was that like, man?
No, of course. That was, the best part about that was usually you're in a away arena, and sometimes it happens, your fans start to chant, and they right away the home crowd starts to drown them out, and they start booing, and they couldn't. Like, it was, our fans were weird enough there, they were loud enough, and maybe it was the score was definitely lopsided, but the home crowd wasn't drowning out our fans. So you got a full Light the Beam chant on the road, which is really neat to see. We were sitting there on the bench at the end of the game, just kind of laughing to ourselves. But if we're being honest, that was a game we were supposed to win. They had a lot of guys out. They had a lot of their better players and shot creators that were out, and that's a really good team. But one that we kind of went into and we're like, this is a game we need to win. We have our full team, we're at full strength, and then came at home, and the Bulls were, I think, on game 5 or game 6 of their road trip, and mentally we're going to be there here in a couple of weeks. I think you're just ready to get home at that point, and those are the games you especially got to take advantage of. And they're 2 really good wins against, I think, teams towards the end of the year that will end up with really good records. But for us as a team, where in the conversations we put ourselves in, those are 2 games that we felt like we needed to get.
I don't know if you noticed, last question for you, but Monty McNair was wearing Malik Monk's red, I don't know what those are, slippers, there's some sort of red slippery looking shoes that he had lost a bet that you guys would win 5 in a row. He said he'd do that, and you guys won 7 in a row. And you haven't lost since Monty's worn the slippers to the games. And I don't know if Monty's on the road or not. I know he usually is, but am I correct in saying Monty has to continue to wear those big red slippers until you guys lose?
I don't know if he'll do it every game, but he did say there's a new bet in line if we get to 5 straight again. So the tough part for us was he wore them to start the game. We saw him pregame, and then afterwards he already had taken them off, I think, by halftime.
What?
He tried, yeah. And we pointed it out. So, hopefully when we get to 5 games this time around, he'll keep it on all game.
No, dude, never. What do they say in Bold Durham? I can't say it on the air, but never mess with a winning streak here. You should be wearing those things to bed.
Hey,
wow.
At least we got him to put them on in the first place.
Good luck tonight. As always, stay healthy. Have a great time. And lots of work cut out for you guys tonight, but we'll all be watching and listening back home and rooting for you guys. And hopefully we get a beam lighting tonight. We always appreciate your time, my man.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you guys. Big one tonight.
All right, take care. That's Kevin Huerter from Milwaukee on the Kevin Huerter Show, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube, always there for us, always there for you. Many different locations throughout the Sacramento area. Take care of that vehicle and get it done with a place that supports you. Jiffy Lube. Love them. And love Kevin Huerter. Said a lot of great things there.
You should do voiceovers for Jiffy Lube.
I should.
Impressive.
We'll take a break. When we come back, a couple notes on what Kevin said I want to talk to you about, Jay, real quick, with Katie coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll do that as well with her. Also, with Jimmy G, a possibility now to return this year. Does that automatically mean Brock Purdy is going to be backing him up? Not so fast, says Lee Corso. We'll lay out the scenarios next.
The Kings take on the Bucks Wednesday in Milwaukee to kick off a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip.
Watching Monk go for 3 and score the 3.
Coverage starts at 3:30 with Game Night on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. And the primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your 2022 Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are moving on in the NCAA FCS playoffs. The Hornets will host a third-round playoff game against Incarnate Word on Friday, December 9th at 7:30. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at hornetsports.com. Hornet Nation, we need you to pack Hornet Stadium and cheer on your hometown Hornets in their quest for a national championship. Get your tickets now. Go Hornets and Stingers up.
Stimulant use disorder is a disease, not a choice. But getting help is. Make a change by choosing treatment for your meth or cocaine addiction. Find proven treatment options at choosechangeca.org.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Maida Chevy saves you an extra $2,000 off factory sticker plus. Big factory rebates on almost every new Silverado half-ton in stock with 2.7-liter engine. Find big red tag savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
Ends 1/3/23. Excludes ZR2 Trail Boss and Work Trucks.
My mother owned Christmas. Well, not in a literal sense, of course, but she had an extraordinary way of making sure the holiday was perfect for her family. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'll never forget my daughter's first Christmas when every present under the tree was for my mother's first granddaughter, while the rest of us had to look in the spare bedroom for our gifts. Now, those memories always bring a smile to my face. My mother always taught, have a bit of Christmas in my home every day of the year. That could be a tiny happy Santa bauble, a sparkling memento on the wall, or a comfortable rocking chair. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you find the perfect accent piece for every room in your home during their annual holiday sale, including unique mirrors, clocks, wall art, rugs, chairside tables, curios, accent chairs, recliners, lamps, and more. You'll find that perfect bit of Christmas for your home. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The 94th most popular celebrity from Carmichael
How popular do you want to be?
meets a Celtics broadcasting legend.
Celtics are going to go for the win. Everybody here at Golden One Center on their feet.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Thanks to Kevin Huerter. Katie will join us in 15 minutes. We're going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy here in a second. Want to clean up a couple things. Number one, we had asked what's the most random Kings memorabilia, whatever you own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give enough love to the text line, 916-339-1140, since everyone's in the YouTube chat. There's some good ones here. My most random jersey is a black Scott Pollard screen print champion jersey. Most random memorabilia is a stack of media guides from the 2000 to 2006 seasons that I wanted to give away from Pete Youngman, the former Kings trainer. Somebody else has a signed basketball of Jerry Reynolds, Michael Jackson, Ben Guillory, and the late Ricky Berry.
Ben Guillory. There's a game that literally 0.4% of the audience knows.
Where's
Ricky
Terry
Berry and Jerry.
Tyler on that one?
But Ricky Berry, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool. No, absolutely. Chuck Hayes signed mini basketball they threw out at the games.
Should have threw it back.
A complete set of the 1985 Sacramento Kings Smokey the Bear cards. I'm not familiar with this.
I'm not either.
Oh, I'd love to see this. Smokey the Bear cards?
He said only you can prevent forest fires, David.
And finally, this one hits close to home. A signed copy or a copy of the King's Cookbook autographed by Mitch Richmond. He got it on clearance at Bevmo for $2. I've said it before and I've said it again. We are the official partner of the Sacramento Kings. We don't do enough stuff together. I want to do a new cookbook with these guys. It is time for a new Sacramento Kings cookbook. I want us to partner up on that. I want to know what Domas Sabonis' go-to dish is.
Lasagna.
I want to know what De'Aaron Fox is. I think I actually asked him once. If I remember correctly, he's not the cook.
Yeah, I don't think majority of these guys are.
I'll bet you at least one player on the team knows his way around the kitchen.
Dude, I guarantee you that mid to late 90s cookbook that was just referenced was just a bunch of recipes and players' pictures were put next to it.
I actually think a lot of them were recipes from their moms.
Probably.
I actually think that's what happened. All right, so Brock Purdy takes over with Jimmy Garoppolo injured. We had told you earlier the Liz Frank injury that was feared for Jimmy Garoppolo that would have kept him out this season and for a while after was not the case. He does not need surgery. He can return in 7 to 8 weeks. And if you're doing the math, 7 weeks, that's your divisional playoff game. 8 weeks, that would be your NFC championship game.
And if you speed it up, 6 weeks is your wild card game.
So the question here that you pose, Jamars, is there a scenario where the Niners are in the playoffs, Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, Brock Purdy starts? I will tell you this. I think secretly Kyle Shanahan I think Kyle Shanahan has to change his undies when he thinks of that scenario. I think Kyle Shanahan hopes for that scenario. I think he would be over the moon. I think he's wanted to get off of Jimmy Garoppolo for a while now. And the scenario is simply this. Brock Purdy comes in, lights out. They finish I think 3-2 or better, and this team's rallying behind him. You can't just pull him out and put in fresh off a foot injury Jimmy Garoppolo when he's got them rolling. I don't think. You think Shanahan's going to do that?
I think Jimmy Garoppolo, has the cachet with that locker room where if he's healthy, and I am doing this under the assumption that Brock Purdy and the 49ers can win the next 5 games plus, and we'll say he's QBing in the wild card round and they win that. So if they do that, I'm guessing it won't be because Brock Purdy's throwing for 4 and 350 every game. That's just not a plausible scenario to me. The idea is that if they get into the playoffs behind Brock Purdy and they've won every game, I don't think the majority of that factoring will be Brock Purdy. I think it'll be all the other elements. And so this is kind of like a perfect scenario then for Kyle Shanahan. His locker room will want Jimmy Garoppolo in. So it makes it an easy call for him. Like, look, this is the guy that, when healthy, as everyone likes to point out, got us, 6 minutes away from the Super Bowl last year, to the Super Bowl a couple years prior to that. It makes all the sense in the world to insert him in the lineup. And guess what? If he wins, great. You look like a genius.
If he loses,
great. You look like a genius because, again, here he is showing he just can't win the big game.
If he loses.
And it makes the whole idea that we drafted Trey Lance a lot easier for the 49ers to sell.
If he loses, he's Dusty Baker pulling Russ Ortiz.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but Dusty Baker was not trying to get off of Russ Ortiz for the last couple of years.
There's 5 games left. Tampa Bay, at Seattle, Washington, at Vegas, Arizona. 3 home, 2 road. Those 2 road, Seattle, and then Vegas. That's going to be both
of those games are going to be tough.
That could be a very big game for Vegas. It could also be meaningless. That Arizona game is likely going to be meaningless. It certainly will be for Arizona. Tampa Bay, after their win last week, I'm very curious.
Well, Tampa's a guy. I mean, they're 6-6. I mean, that AFC South is still up for grabs. Shockingly, it's such a terrible division.
You have that Thursday game, so it's a short week between Tampa Bay and Seattle, and then you have a Saturday, Sunday, New Year's Day included, in Vegas. Okay, so let me propose some. Can we both agree that if the 49ers go 2-3 or worse, and Jimmy Garoppolo is available, Jimmy Garoppolo takes the job?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Do we both agree that if they go 2-3, but the 3 in there is beating Washington, Vegas, and Arizona by decent margins, and they have a 3-game winning streak going into the playoffs, do you still believe it would be Garoppolo?
Yes. Okay. If healthy.
What about 3-2?
Still believe in Jimmy.
What about 4-1?
Unless it's Brock Purdy. I mean, like I said, just putting up monster numbers, Jimmy.
What if it's 4-1 and Brock Purdy is putting up Jimmy Garoppolo numbers or better?
Then they still go to Jimmy.
I disagree.
They're going to go with the leadership every time. They're going to go with the vet and the leadership. If he is basically playing at the same level of Jimmy Garoppolo, which to me indicates again more so that the quarterback position because of who's playing. And I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It's just not as big as a factor as it would be if, hey, Tampa Bay lost Tom Brady.
But here's the difference. And the NFL is littered with stories we can talk about, including the 49ers, of quarterbacks losing their job to injury, of quarterbacks.
Alex Smith on line 1.
Alex Smith is on line 1, absolutely. And the whole Kaepernick situation. Obviously, the most famous is Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady. There's example after example. Here's my thing. It would be one thing if Jimmy Garoppolo was a guy where you're like, well, it's the intangibles. It's the intangibles Jimmy has in the playoffs. Here's the problem. Jimmy doesn't have any intangibles in the playoffs. This is a guy that couldn't complete a pass, was 3 yards short on that pass against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. A guy that, along with his coordinator, plays scared in the second half. It's not like we look back at all those wonderful Jimmy G playoff moments in the clutch. And you know what I mean when I say this. My hope is, I think, bright side for a Niner fan. Here's my hope. I hope that Brock Purdy is too stupid to feel any pressure.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean by that.
Yes.
He's too young and dumb and stupid to get affected by the spotlight.
Understand the gravitas.
Right. He just goes in and plays football. He goes in and plays. You know what I know? Brock Purdy has never choked in the playoffs.
I'm factual.
I wouldn't bet my house you're wrong. I do think you're wrong. I wouldn't bet my house on it, though. I fully understand your side of the argument. Kyle Shanahan's got his. Here's what I think. I think that not only is Jimmy Garoppolo going to come back, but so is Trey Lance. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to play 3 quarterbacks every game throughout the playoffs. And he's going to start. No, he's going to play 4 because he's going to start Christian McCaffrey under center with Elijah Mitchell can't come back.
No, he can't play.
If anyone's going to do something silly and weird, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan. But Kyle Shanahan is teetering on the verge of being Marty Schottenheimer Sr.
He's getting there.
He's really
more successful.
Really
I'll give you that. I actually go more North Turner than Marty Schottenheimer.
Well, Marty's thing was wonderful regular season guy. Could even get you in the playoffs, maybe do a little damage.
Yeah, Norv can do that. Norv was good to get into the playoffs.
But in the end, you're playing prevent D.
Yeah.
And this team is amazing. This is an amazing team outside of, the most important position in sports.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
How that has worked out for them. And maybe that is the reason why Kyle Shanahan is that Marty Schottenheimer, Norv Turner, is because of that position. And I think that's the story he's been trying to sell for a while now. Not like actually saying it, but also when you hear the different things of Kyle can't get it done when it's on the line. Well, Kyle's never had that quarterback that can just go out there and Joe Montana it for you either.
No, he's not.
Not saying that's an easy quarterback to find.
Should have just gotten Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers when he had the chance.
I can't argue that.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Katie Christensen in Milwaukee. She'll give us a report live on the scene ahead of tonight's matchup versus the Bucs. Don't go away.
You want the inside scoop on the Sacramento Kings? Cattles and Rami are giving it to you. Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. for an exclusive interview with a member of the Kings coaching staff.
When you're talking about Foxy, we're going to utilize his speed. We're going to make sure the floor is spaced so he can get to the paint.
Keegan has the potential, and we have no doubt in our minds that he'll be a huge part of our winning in the future.
From your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports.
Peak Conventional to save on motor oil for your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Get the complete job done at the right price at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The GainsWave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at GainsWave can do for you. Visit GainsWaveCalgary.ca.
Hey, it's Nick Cattles, and you should start your holidays right with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from California Backyard. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill is turning me into a pro. Think outside the kitchen this year and cook your entire holiday meal on a Napoleon gas grill. Napoleon, their grills are built to last. I'll tell you right now, all made with premium steel that boasts quality. Check out Napoleon Grills today at any of the 4 nearby California Backyard locations. They're always the best in backyard living. Check them out at Napoleon.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
ATM Mortgage.
When times get tough, you need a lender that gets even tougher. Hi, Jeff Tarbell with ATM Mortgage. We can still show you an affordable path to home ownership. And all you have to do is call 916-338-9400. That's 338-9400. Or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
Ooh, there's nothing worse than being cold and uncomfortable in your own home. Make sure you and your family are able to enjoy the holidays this winter. At American Energy Heat and Air, we want to make sure your furnace is running safely and efficiently during these cold months. For only $49, take advantage of the 30-point tune-up today. Proudly servicing the community since 1981, American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Book your tune-up today for only $49. Call 916-520-9990 or visit them at AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Sacramento State football is hosting a playoff game this Friday night at 7:30 against Incarnate Word. Tickets start at just $10. Go to HornetSports.com.
Check the game from the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacktown Sports 1140. Sacktown Sports headlines.
With your Sacktown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings start a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Milwaukee. The Kings come into the game having won 3 straight, while Milwaukee went 2-0 on a quick road trip that saw them visit Charlotte and Orlando. Kings guard Terrence Davis is questionable to play tonight with back injury, and Joe Ingles is out for the Bucks as he recovers from a knee injury. Coverage starts at 3:30 with Game Night on Sacktown Sports. 49ers fans can breathe a sigh of relief as Jimmy Garoppolo's broken foot is not the dreaded Liz Frank injury. Jimmy G is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, which would put him in line to return to the playoffs should the 49ers get in and advance deeply into the NFC playoffs. The New York Yankees have re-signed outfielder and reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year, $360 million deal. This is the 3rd highest total value contract in MLB history. The San Francisco Giants have signed Mariners slugger Mitch Haniger to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Haniger struggled to stay on the field for Seattle last season, appearing in just 57 games. The previous season, Haniger appeared in 157 games, hitting 39 home runs and 100 RBI. Coming up next, Katie Christensen joins us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Wine Wednesday at 8:27. If you missed Kevin Huerter, we had to go early with him because they are out in Milwaukee. You can catch that on the Sacktown Sports website and also everywhere podcasts are available. Coming up in the next segment, we will hear from Steve Kerr, saying some really great things about Mike Brown and everything going on in Sacramento. Right now, it is time, as we do every Wednesday at 8, kind of the mark of the hump day. It would be absolutely perfect if we had her at 7:30 because that would be the exact middle of the week. Joining us right now from Milwaukee, by the pool, with a drink in her hand, Katie Christensen. Good morning.
Good morning. You're kind of close. I have a coffee and I'm sitting by an ice skating rink that is empty.
It's empty, huh?
That sounds depressing.
Yeah, well, they haven't filled it up yet. Despite the balmy 35-degree weather out here, I guess it's not quite ice skating weather.
I've been in Milwaukee once. It was on the RV trip. We went and ate at some German restaurant. Everything looked like Laverne and Shirley. I'm not joking. Like, it literally looked like Laverne and Shirley out there. Do you ever venture out in Milwaukee, or is Milwaukee one of those hotel-mainly places?
Well, it just depends on the trip. You know, like last night I ate in the hotel. It just depends on, you know, if it's the start of the trip, not really, because you don't really have the time if there's a day off. Yeah, Milwaukee's beautiful. I really like it here.
Wow. Milwaukee's beautiful,
Yeah.
Jay.
Wow.
It is beautiful, especially at Christmas.
Does it
Come on
remind you
now.
of home? It's all snowy and desolate.
It's not desolate, you dork.
It's Wisconsin.
We were asking, we had Kevin Huerter on a few minutes ago, and we were talking about how this is a rough road trip, especially the first 2 games. But is there something, Katie, as somebody who's traveled with the team forever, but also who played, is there something you would agree with on the road trip that can bond teams that, I mean, even you, for example, I know you're not playing, but you're working and kind of the same thing, you love your family, but you don't have your daughter up your, what, constantly. Wow. You're not doing 70 home projects. I mean, in some ways, I would imagine road trips can be easier than at home when it comes to outside distractions.
Yeah, because you're just kind of together, and when it comes to bonding, absolutely. As players, you do more things together, you eat more meals out, that kind of thing. And then, like for instance, I ate downstairs last night, and I was eating by myself, but people filtered in, and before you know it, there's 6 people sitting there, and we're watching the game and just kind of chatting and talking. And that's not really something you get at home, because you come to the games, you do your work, you go home, and you have your responsibilities, but the road is fun for that, because you actually get to, spend time with people, and you bond.
Kings Color analyst Katie Christensen joining us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Katie, earlier in the show, me and Dave were talking that I think this is going to be a big game, especially when it comes to Domantas Sabonis with Lopez, with Giannis out there. How do you see, the Bucks defending Domantas, and how do you see him matching up on the defensive end as well with a three-point shooting big like Brook Lopez?
Yeah, that's the interesting part, right? So I watched the Milwaukee-Orlando game on the flight out here, and, they were without Brook Lopez, they were without Grayson Allen, and they barely squeaked out a win in Orlando. And, I was thinking about it last night. No matter what, now the big change this season with how well the teams are playing and kind of their transition into being a competitive team night in, night out, they're getting everybody, for the opposing team. No one's going to rest. No one's going to sit out. And so Brook Lopez is back. Grayson Allen is back. So, they're kind of facing a full roster, with the exception of Joe Ingles, who is, recovering from an ACL injury. But, I think when it comes to Brook Lopez, he really is having a phenomenal season, like defensively really leading the charge, and he changes everything for them. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles Domas, who also is shooting the ball incredibly well from outside right now over, I would say, the last 7 or 8 games. So it should be an interesting matchup to see how he handles that, because you can't really bag off of him. And then when it comes to his passing ability, that changes everything. But defensively, this team is just really, really good. They cover a lot of ground. They have a lot of really good role players that come in and defensively impact the game. So it's going to be a challenge for the Kings, really, on both ends.
Not that anybody can guard Giannis, but who's your guess? Is Sabonis on Giannis and somebody else on Lopez? If they draw Sabonis out, like you said, on Lopez, now all of a sudden, who's your rebounder? How do you attack that Lopez-Giannis combo?
I'm curious who they're going to start on Giannis. I have a feeling that it might be Harrison Barnes because of his size, but it also could possibly be Keegan Murray, right? So we'll see. But, the interesting thing about it is, once a game gets going, unless it's dead ball situation, a lot of the time you have cross matches, right? You're coming back in transition. It's, you grab the closest side to you. So it's going to take a lot of communication on the part of the teams. And, I think Giannis, he had another, his 7th straight 30-plus game against Orlando. And I'm watching this game, and I'm like, wow, it is incredible that he can have a 30-plus point game, and you can watch the game and be like, he's not playing that well. It's wild, the expectations with him. But you have to just show a lot of bodies at him, right? Because he is not shooting the 3 well. He really, if he gets the ball in transition in the open floor, it's all hands on deck. You got to show bodies. You got to make sure that you can prevent him from getting that head of steam to get downhill and get to the rim. So, I think I'm curious if they're going to show a lot of zone tonight and kind of clog up the paint. Orlando actually did a really good job doing just that. There would be 3 guys basically at the free throw line, and it would force him to have to kick the ball out. He didn't have a lane to the basket, and then it's just covering shooters and all of that. And then you have Chris Middleton back as well, who, that's a different component that he adds on both ends, really. So the Kings have a huge challenge to start this road trip tonight.
Katie, you mentioned Keegan earlier, or Keegan Murray, earlier in your answer. Do you see him starting to finally break out of that slump?
I do. I think that really the turning point for him might have been that game in LA against the Clippers when the game was really in hand and you kind of had your third string guys in closing that game out. And he had, Mike Brown left Keegan out there with those guys and he started scoring. He started, I think, really building some confidence. And so I think that, that November slump that we kind of saw him in is kind of starting to be in the rearview mirror. But I am curious to see how he plays on this trip, because if you look at his home road numbers, he has certainly been much, much better at home. And I think that that's one of the challenges that rookies face is you get comfortable kind of in your home environment, but how do you respond on the road to different arenas? A lot of these places, this is the first time he's playing in these different venues, right? And so as a shooter, from the perimeter, it changes everything. Like, you can play at crypto.com arena and it'll be different kind of in terms of what you see as a shooter if you're playing against the Clippers versus the Lakers because of how they light the arena based on who's playing. So, the Lakers kind of have that theater lighting, and as a shooter, that's a little bit easier for depth perception. So I think the big question mark since Keegan has really started to make some positive strides here over the last couple is just how is he going to play on the road in these different arenas that he hasn't played in yet.
Could KZ Okpala be a factor at 6'8"? Can he match up with Giannis if Mike gets in trouble?
Yeah, no, I think that he'll see some time on him for sure. And I think, the last game against Chicago, I put it on my halftime box score, that I send out on Twitter every game. He impacted that game in such a massive way in the first half specifically that it's never going to show up on a box score. And the good thing about KZ is that he has the versatility to guard a lot of different players. And so I think for sure you're going to see KZ on Giannis, and he has great length. He is very, he can move his feet really well. He stays with people. So, yeah, but Giannis he is just so strong and so physical. And, quite honestly, a little bit dirty. I was watching that Milwaukee game against Orlando, and I was like, wow, there was a couple things that he did that are just kind of veteran moves. Like you set a screen and you use your kind of hand that's on the inside as the player's going over the top, and you shove them into the shooter. And he was getting fouls drawn on the defense because he was creating contact that wasn't really there. And so you have to be really careful with Giannis because he's gotten very good at the little idiosyncrasies of finding advantages for himself. So, I think it's going to be a very physical game, to say the least.
We have just 60 seconds left. Katie, I had said I think Kevin Huerter is your key to the game tonight. That's what I'm looking for to have a bounce back game against the Bucks. Point one player to me that you're looking to. That's the key to the game for the Kings.
Yeah, I think Kevin is going to be a key until he kind of starts shooting the ball like he was. And I think that's the fantastic thing is that the Kings have had success despite the fact that, a couple key players have really been struggling for an extended period now. I also think that, De'Aaron Fox is going to be a really, really big key. Drew Holiday is a great, great defender.
How is there a seagull in Milwaukee? Did you hear that?
That's a really good. It is a seagull. It is a seagull. There is water here. You do know that, right?
Oh, is that one of them Great Lakes? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. I just heard it.
There goes my 60 seconds. All right, it's been nice chatting with you.
I heard a seagull. I have ADD. What do you want?
But to finish up the answer, I think it's De'Aaron. I think De'Aaron is going to be a big key this entire road trip because, he hasn't been playing at the level he kind of started at, and he's been battling, he's not been feeling well and some little bumps and bruises, and that's going to happen. But yeah, he is, what kind of spinners and leads this team. So I think it should be something we watch for.
Katie Christensen live from Milwaukee. Pregame here starts at 3:30. We'll see you on the call. What was it last week? It was feet set, jumper wet. Good for you. We look forward to more tonight.
All right, fellas.
Take care. It's Katie Christensen. We'll take a quick break. How the Kings can beat the Bucks tonight, it's a tall order. We'll take a look at what needs to go right. But first, what Steve Kerr said about Mike Brown and these Sacramento Kings. Hint, spoiler alert, it was a very, very nice thing to say. We have the audio next.
The Kings take on the Bucks Wednesday in Milwaukee to kick off a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip.
Watching Monk go for 3 and score the 3.
Coverage starts at 3:30 with Game Night on Sacktown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
Your 2022 Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are moving on in the NCAA FCS playoffs. The Hornets will host a third-round playoff game against Incarnate Word on Friday, December 9th at 7:30. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at hornetsports.com. Hornet Nation, we need you to pack Hornet Stadium and cheer on your hometown Hornets in their quest for a national championship. Get your tickets now. Go Hornets and Stingers up.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The only local sports show in the morning.
On Sacktown Sports 1140.
There's just a thrilling conversation going on in the Sacktown Sports YouTube chat right now. Earl has a theory that there's never been any good Rons.
Okay, well, Ron Artest, first of all.
His claim is
pretty
that
good,
Ron
pretty
had,
good basketball player.
He said, no, he's saying as far as nice people, he said Ron had his issues.
Ron is one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet.
Ron also did some, listen, Ron had his struggles. But he said there's no, super awesome Rons without, I said Ronald McDonald. He said that's a Ronald, not a Ron, so he's moving the goalposts.
Ron Harper won 5 NBA titles in 6 years.
What about Ron Howard? Nobody hates Ron Howard. He was Opie.
Yeah. That's a pretty good director.
Ron Darling?
Oh, gosh, Ron Darling is excellent.
I brought up Ron Burgundy first. He said that's not a real Ron.
That is a real Ron. He literally has his own podcast.
He's every TV host in the 70s.
Yes.
Steve Kerr.
Not a TV host in the 70s.
And nor is he a Ron. But he was the head coach of the Warriors with Mike Brown as his top lieutenant. Now, this is the second straight lieutenant of Steve Kerr's that the Kings have put in the head coach position. Obviously, better results this time than the last time going around. And Steve had some very nice things to say about Brown and the Kings.
Mike is just killing it. That team is so well coached and well put together. It all clicks. I mean, when we played them early in the season, you could see it was coming together. And, by the time we played them the third time, they had already formed an identity, playing through Sabonis with all that three-point shooting, but really executing. They do a lot of good stuff offensively that Mike and his staff have put in, and that the players are really executing well. And so they're having a great season, great start to the season, and happy to see that for Mike and LB and their staff. Mike has been interviewed a few times over the years, and I always told him, as long as I was here, he had a job next to me for life, as long as I was here, because he suited me perfectly. And we were so close. We've known each other for so long now that I was thrilled for the opportunity that he was getting. And then immediately I was thinking, how am I going to replace him? Because he was that valuable to me in a lot of different ways. But just thoroughly enjoyed working with Mike for, I think it was 6-7 years. But I knew it was just a matter of time before he got another chance, and he's making the most of it.
Very nice of him.
Wow.
I mean, what's he going to say, though? I'm glad we got Mike out of there. Couldn't wait to get him out of there.
No, I never, would have thought he would have had a negative answer. It was more so that was a 90-second clip. He articulated on that one. It wasn't just, yeah, man, we knew Mike was going to do well. Mike was great here. Yeah, happy for him in Sacramento. They're playing really well. Got to watch out for him.
Yeah, he went into it.
He went into it.
And I think that this is really a good spot for Mike as well. Mike Brown has changed the culture of this team.
He has.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Here's where I'm at right now mentally as a Kings fan. I'm looking at this road trip coming up. No, I'm just saying. I'm looking at this road trip coming up. I'm excited. I'm going to be front and center for the game tonight. I would be anyway. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm still there.
I think any long-term that passionate fan is probably still there. And it's easy to understand why.
Barring crazy injuries or something, I don't see this team reverting back to nothing.
No.
But
they're going to go through a lull at some point.
They will.
Every team does.
Well, and there's a chance that wall was maybe the first 4 games of the season.
Right.
I don't see that. I am old enough to remember when this team, it wasn't 13 and whatever after 20 something games. They were 30 and 26 under Dave Yeager.
Yeah.
Like the real deal. I'm old enough to remember that team falling apart at the end of the year.
I don't think this team, their DNA, that team A was just so young. I mean, you had De'Aaron Fox, in year 2?
Yep.
Rookie Marvin Bagley. You had, Buddy was still very young at that. I mean, they were just a super young team. And they had that weird Iman Shumpert trade that just devastated the team. I don't think this team has that DNA.
That team, I think, ultimately, if we're being a little disrespectful, but I think it's accurate, that team was a little mentally soft, and the coach lost the team at the end of the year. Dave Yeager was not having a good year mentally either.
No. And again, I don't think you're going to see that type of issue with this squad.
No, and one of the big issues that we've seen with King squads in the past that we don't necessarily see this year is, for lack of a better term, people around the league say they're soft. That you can go at them, you can bully them a little bit, and that you can bend them and they'll break.
The improvement in defensive rating, and I'll say this, defensive rating is not the greatest metric in the world when it comes to predicting how good a team's defense is. However, when you have that big of a jump, clearly you've toughened up a little bit, especially on that end.
De'Aaron Fox is a veteran now and has been in this league. He knows what he's doing.
And by the way, and real quick on De'Aaron, because we were talking about defense, his defense is been so much better this year.
Yes.
It's not great at times still, but during this quote unquote slump that he's been in, I won't even call it a slump. He's just, hasn't played at his best. He's been pretty decent on the defensive side of the ball during that time.
You know what? I haven't even looked. Let's just see what this says. Let me go to advanced numbers for De'Aaron Fox. I know you love these. Let's see. Defensive win shares. For example, defensive win shares. Okay, so he is currently at 0.7. He was at 1.0 last year, but hold on. Defensive box plus minus. He is currently at 0.3, which would represent a career high.
It's a positive number, too.
It is.
It's not yet. It's 0.3, but that's better than -6.
He was at 0.2 his second year in the league in defensive box plus minus, which was his career high. Every other year he's been negative. And by the way, your surroundings also determine what your defense looks like a little bit too in these metrics. So let's not get too lost.
Well, and not having to feel like you have to carry the scoring load every night really helps there too. He has guys he can pass the ball to now.
He was carrying the load every single game, and at some point, carrying the load, it hurts your back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it hurts you mentally. Harrison Barnes isn't a pushover. Harrison Barnes didn't go out and punch somebody in the face, but he's no pushover. Domas certainly isn't. You're not going to rattle Keegan.
Kevin Huerter's defense was underrated, I think, coming into the season.
And Terrence Davis and Malik Monk are dogs.
Yeah.
They come in, they have energy, they have an edge. They're fiery. They're absolutely we were saying because
Casey Okpala's not going to let himself get torched defensively.
Absolutely not. Mike Brown. It's so funny, the catch-22. Mike Brown is for all intents and purposes and what we've seen, a far better coach than Luke Walton. But I'm just saying we're by record, by results.
Yes.
The question, of course, you're going to ask and I'm going to ask is it's the chicken and egg. Does Luke Walton do something different with this? Is Luke Walton better with this roster? Probably.
100% is better with this roster. Not saying he's great.
I don't think he's Mike Brown.
I don't either. I will agree with you that Mike Brown is a better coach, but we do have to be fair. Mike Brown has a significantly better roster.
Mike Brown has the best roster.
You can't really compare the two.
You're right. And that's why I'm hearing about Malik Monk, 6th man of the year. Somebody was tweeting at me yesterday that Mike Brown should be in consideration for coach of the year. I'm like, yeah. And listen, if this team finishes 500 or better, he should win it.
If this team is a playoff team, not a play-in team, I mean a top 6 team in the West, he's coach of the year.
I agree with you. And I don't think Malik Monk's in the running. I think that's Ben Matherin's and a couple others. That's their spot right now. But you know what I haven't heard? Why is Monty McNair not getting noticed as an exec of the year?
It's a good call.
He's the one that traded for Domantas Sabonis. He's the one that drafted Keegan Murray. He's the one that traded for Kevin Huerter. He's the one that signed Malik Monk. He's the one that signed KZ Okpala. He's the one that signed, they had Terrence Davis, excuse me. He's the one that robbed Detroit for Trey Lyles. I mean, he's made this team up. If we're going to give everyone else love, you got to give Monty love too, and you also got to give Shelby love. United Wholesale Lending. If there was a vote for mortgage originator, loan officer, loan place of the year, hey, why not? RefinanceWithShelby.com. Fast, local, competitive. Shelby's team is very well known in the real estate market. I've told you for years that is incredibly important. John from Ohio is not going to have the same pull here as Shelby and his team, who've worked with these people for years. In many cases, they've gone to dinners together, had Christmas parties together. So when you need something done on a loan and it's $458 and there's a stack of loans in front of the title officer, guess which one Bonnie or Bill are going to pick first? It's going to be Shelby's. With everything going on in the market right now, it has shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Yeah, you got rates, but you also have 2-1 buy down options as well. The bottom line is there's more inventory, which means better deals. Yeah, your rate might be a point higher, but what if you're getting into the home of your dreams for $100,000 less? Go to RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 01864354. Somebody says Monk, Davis, and Davion are dogs. Maybe the bench should be the dog pound. That's from Kevin. I don't hate that. When we come back, Jay's got a wine. I'll figure one out as well. It's Wine Wednesday. We're going to cry about things after this.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Fox comes up the floor, 2 seconds. Here's a 35-footer for the win. He's got the bucket.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Enterprises.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Wednesday forecast starts out pretty cool as we've got mainly clear skies. Look for some areas of patchy fog this morning. Into the afternoon, we'll have sunshine. Highs in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Are you remodeling your home? Byers Leaf Guard gutters are a custom solution that are not only 100% clog-free, but they're also 100% custom-made for your home on site. You choose the color and let us do the rest. Learn more at thatsbyers.com.
License number 518784.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, curbside pickup, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
There is beauty and there's uncomfort in owning an older home. The craftsmanship back then, the way they were built, the character, all have their positives. Now, on the other side, older homes need some love and some tenderness, and in our case, some help. Jason Ross here to tell you about the help we're getting thanks to ACR Solar. Now, you hear solar, and you know what? Yes, they do solar, but after years and years of living at our house, the time has come to get a new roof. Our old roof has done its job, but it is done. It's tired and it looks it. So after doing the proper research and talking with several roofing companies, we landed on ACR Solar. They stood out from the first visit when Joe, their roofing expert, came out and shared his knowledge. We knew at that moment we were at ease because we were in good hands. Also, after our conversations with John, the owner of ACR Solar, that just confirmed what my wife and I already knew, that ACR Solar was the right choice for us. So we're so excited to begin our journey with ACR Solar. We're going to have a beautiful new roof, become more energy efficient, and have the peace of mind we're looking for. ACR Solar, 916-481-2700, or you can visit them at acrsolar.com.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts in Central New York, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? Learn more at BofA.com/Central New York. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Sacramento State football is hosting a playoff game this Friday night at 7:30 against Incarnate Word. Tickets start at just $10. Go to hornetsports.com.
Sacktown Sports headlines.
With your Sacktown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings start a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip tonight in Milwaukee. The Kings come into the game having won 3 straight, while Milwaukee went 2-0 on a quick road trip that saw them visit Charlotte and Orlando. Kings guard Terrence Davis is questionable to play tonight with a back injury, and Joe Ingles is out for the Bucks as he recovers from a knee injury. Okay, coverage begins with game night at 3:30 on Sacktown Sports. 49ers fans can breathe a sigh of relief as Jimmy Garoppolo's broken foot is not the dreaded Liz Frank injury. Jimmy G is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, which would put him in line to return should the 49ers advance deep to the NFC playoffs. The New York Yankees have re-signed outfielder and reigning American League MVP Aaron Judge to a 9-year, $360 million deal. This is the third highest total value contract in MLB history. The San Francisco Giants signed Mariners slugger Mitch Haniger to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Haniger struggled to stay on the field for Seattle last season, appearing in just 57 games. The previous season, however, Haniger appeared in 157 games, hitting 39 home runs and 100 RBI. It's time to Wine Wednesday, right now on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Got a take? Make sure it's a hot one.
Take a shot right now.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports, 1140.
For the love of wine, it's Wine Wednesday. So your wine of the week brought to you by 23 Wines in the YouTube chat on the text line.
You got a line to Mr. Vaughn, don't you?
I do.
For those wondering, 23 Wines, that's Greg Vaughn's line.
Greg Vaughn.
Just thought maybe he'd like to drop some off at some point.
Oh, you want some wine?
I'm just saying, look, this is a semi-endorsement.
Yeah.
It's good to know your product that you're talking about. Just saying.
Get him on the phone. Let's say up for some wine. Vaughn. Get off your wallet, dude.
Vaughn.
Come on, GV.
Hey, Vaughn!
You got a wine.
Oh, my God. Is Cousin Eddie on Cameo? The guy who plays him, what's his name?
I have no idea.
From, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Isn't that from the Munsters?
No, Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
who plays the guy harassing Rick Vaughn in the outfield?
Belushi. Or not Belushi.
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid. If Randy Quaid's on Cameo, I need to get a cameo of him harassing Greg Vaughn for wine.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think we're in danger, Will Robinson land, but I'm not sure. Randy
might be in a little trouble.
I think something's okay. I think Randy's in a bad spot.
Okay, well, anyways, you got a wine?
I do, but you
red
go
or
first. I know you have.
All right, this is a red wine.
Because
it's a little thicker, more body to it.
I hear you.
To one John Heyman, a very prominent MLB reporter who put out there last night on the Twitter that Arson Judge, the I guess alter ego of Aaron Judge, was heading to the San Francisco Giants.
Yes.
As you know, he did not. There are reporters make mistakes. They get bad info, right? This happens.
It does.
This is not the first time a sports reporter or reporter in general has put out something that did not come to fruition or was not true. Again, Not always their fault.
I do it all the time, according to Russell.
Yes, you are the worst. When you put out the King signed LeBron, you had the fan base in a frenzy.
That's right.
You can't do this though.
Nope.
This is inexcusable at all costs. You're talking about the biggest free agent on the market.
Literally.
The reigning MVP. The guy who's going to collect more money than anybody else.
Yeah.
And you mess that up.
I think he took one for the team.
What do you mean he took one for the team?
I think he leaked it as a favor to the agent.
Really?
I do. I think he took one for the team in exchange for a bunch of future stories.
Dude, that's
Happens.
a hell of a deal, man, to leak that.
I don't think John Heyman is the type of guy that's just going to willy-nilly jump the gun on something.
But that's what I'm wondering. I mean, you got these guys, again, these prominent reporters, they have very good sourcing. They don't put these things out with bad sourcing.
With bad horsing?
That too.
Hey, wouldn't it be a great story if a reporter did that and then the team upped the offer by like $30 million and then they gave the reporter like $2 million?
Are you suggesting Mr. Heyman's on the take here?
God, no. I'm saying I don't think that would be illegal though, technically. I think they get fired.
Oh yeah, they're fired for sure.
Are you saying
your credibility's gone forever?
Are you saying that the reputation of Heyman is not intact? I'm just asking.
I am saying that if that's the case, let's say your scenario is correct. And he did that. You better have the next like 10 years worth of big free agent stories from whoever the agent. I don't know who Aaron Judge is.
Yeah.
You better.
Probably Scott Boras. Who knows?
Because it wasn't John Heyman who broke the Aaron Judge signing to the Yankees, which.
No, it wasn't. It's interesting. But you're right.
I hate to be hyperbolic and say malpractice, but
it's a little malpractice.
It's a little malpractice. You bet Giants fans for 45 minutes were just either like
really
kind of like you, just like, oh damn it, or through the moon, already going online to find their number 99 Giants jersey and then gone within like 45 minutes.
Sue John Heyman for mental stress.
Okay, you say that.
Oh, somebody will.
Somebody will. It's California. We sue for everything.
I'm just gonna have fun with this because yours is awesome. Your wine. I'm just gonna throw out one of my favorite lists. I'm just gonna cherry pick off of this things that are fun. Number one, it's actually one I was thinking about last night. This isn't off a list. So last night, Raphael Warnock defeated Herschel Walker in the Georgia Senate runoff, and I, like many, were watching the coverage. And the network kept having they'd have the sounder when they'd come back for break. It'd be key race alert. And then they'd focus in on like where the votes were coming in. And all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. It's the only race. How is it a key race alert? And they're all doing this.
Well, it was a race, wasn't it?
There's one race.
Okay, but was it key?
It was the only race. It can't be a key race alert. There's one race in the whole country.
It's still key.
That's stupid. Just how about race alert? Oh, okay, that sounds bad.
That sounds really bad. Especially in context.
That's a great point. Okay, how about just alert? Alert. Update. All right, here's some
key race update.
Just update.
Or is it in the same spirit?
It's key race alerts. Here's some things that I love to ponder. I love these. I usually keep them in my back pocket for kids. Jay, why isn't phonetic spelled the way it sounds?
I don't know.
Why do fat chance and slim chance mean the same thing?
See, we're bored.
I've never said this one before. Do you need a silencer if you're going to shoot a mime? That's mean-spirited.
Dark.
How does the guy who drives a snowplow get to work in the mornings?
Plows the snow.
Why do they put Braille on the ATM buttons and in a drive-through teller? Have you ever noticed when you drive through a drive-through ATM, there's Braille on them?
What if they walk up to it?
Can you even do that? I thought you couldn't walk up to drive-thrus.
Okay, if you walk up to the drive-through ATM, who's stopping you?
I'm not. Why is it that when we're driving around looking for an address, we turn down the radio?
I do that all the time. It's a concentration thing. Got to focus.
Why does an alarm clock go off
instead of go on
when it starts ringing? Which is also kind of the same thing. Like, why do people say I got to go take a pee?
Who says that?
I got to go take a leak. You never said that?
Yeah, a leak.
Yeah,
I never said
wait,
AP.
Wouldn't you be leaving one?
I guess.
Yeah. When you choke a Smurf, what color does it turn?
Purple.
Yeah. My main whine is this. When you're doing something like election coverage and you know how it turns out, go ahead and report the thing that turned out instead of not reporting it on purpose so that you can keep your primetime audience. We know what you're doing. We all have Twitter. We know what's going on.
Oh, you mean like when it's kind of like it's done and over, but you're still trying to make it sound like it's a thing so people stay?
This thing was wrapped up. The Carmichael Dave Election Center called that race at 5:27 last night. And most networks didn't go with it until about 7 o'clock.
They didn't go with you?
No. And
Wow.
I know what they're doing. What you call the race, everybody goes and watches Modern Family reruns.
You know, I did that last night.
Yeah, see? Don't fool your audience like that. If you were scared half to death twice, would you be 3/4 dead or 100% dead? We'll take a break.
Thank God.
When we come back, news, notes, who's hot, who's not, right after this.
The Kings take on the Bucks Wednesday in Milwaukee to kick off a 6-game Eastern Conference road trip.
Watching Monk go for three and score the three.
Coverage starts at 3:30 with game night
on Sacktown Sports.
There's nothing worse than being cold and uncomfortable in your own home. Make sure you and your family are able to enjoy the holidays this winter. At American Energy Heat and Air, they want to make sure your furnace is running safely and efficiently during these cold months for only $49. Take advantage of their 30-point tune-up today. I did. I took advantage of it in the spring, got my air conditioner taken care of. They were out at my house checking everything. It was so cool. They didn't know it was me. I had my wife sign up so they wouldn't know it was me. Wanted to do that test. They were so polite, so nice. Didn't try to sell me on anything. Just took care of my AC, and I was nice and cool all summer. American Energy, proudly servicing the Sacramento community since 1981, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Book your tune-up today for just $49. Call 916-520-9990 or visit them at AmericanEnergyAir.com.
ATM Mortgage. Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell. Are you tired of ever increasing rent payments? Now's the time to look at building your financial foundation, buying your own home, and ATM Mortgage can help. You can reach us today, 916-338-9400. That's 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net. ATM Mortgage. Licensed under California CFL and MLS 2234889.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Look, a holiday magic trick every year. Amy's Outdoor Living makes an incredible metamorphosis into Sacramento's finest holiday store. See dozens of beautifully decorated themed Christmas trees, find hundreds of unique ornaments perfect for any tree, plus sensational gifts for everyone on your list. Is there a better gift than a Traeger pellet grill? No. Specially priced for the holidays. Save $400 off the Timberline 850 and 1350, $200 off the Pro 575. Oh my goodness gracious. Get $2 off all rub sauces and seasonings and pellets. Fire pits make a wonderful gift, and it'll be where the family gets together to enjoy all that Christmas cheer. Experience the magic of the holidays at Amy's Outdoor Living. Now 2 locations. El Camino near Watt and Carmichael. That's the one I grew up going to with my dad. And inside Amy Ace Hardware in El Dorado Hills Town Center. Get up there today. Enjoy the holidays. Make everybody happy. And support your good local businesses like Amy Ace Hardware.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit GainswaveCalgary.ca.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good.
Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company.
Hey,
and second opinion partner.
Real quick.
Wow, step all over the voice guy.
Special guest Pat Still in studio. I think you got to turn your mic. There you go. It said, I got a great idea.
Well, it's an idea.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we don't know if it's great or not, Jay.
Look, if you like it, you can take it and run with it.
All right.
But
my notes.
I'm sure you guys have talked about the Purple Beam making Google Maps yesterday.
We have, yes, a place of worship.
Here's my idea for the Kings.
Okay.
All right. They make a deal with maybe Nilo, their BMW dealership.
Yeah.
They get a purple Beamer. You with me so far?
I am.
Okay. You've already done this?
We didn't do Purple Beamer. I think we did Jim Beam. But Purple Beamer is interesting and probably more accessible.
A purple BMW on display. Two things have to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody hits the half-court shot. If they hit it, and the Kings win, that person hits the beam. They drive home in their Beamer.
Okay,
that's it.
That I mean, honestly, I think they're still trying to monetize this thing. I think that could work.
I think you guys are all moonlighting as King's PR.
I can't hear Jay.
He says he thinks we're moonlighting as King's PR, which I'm fine with that. As long as we get a cut.
That's just it.
As long as we get a cut of it. All right, Purple Beamer.
All right. I'll get Jason Ross to come back soon.
Oh, Jason. Jason will be back tomorrow. He's fine.
All right. Light the beam.
Light the beam. See you tonight. That's Pat Still, Pat, Tom, and Cody. The number one ranked country show in the world, I believe.
Yes, in the world.
In mornings.
Domestically speaking.
Purple Beamer.
I got it. You ready for Who's Hot?
I am.
Hey, speaking of the Purple Beam, it's your Sacramento Kings.
Hey.
ESPN Power Rankings just came out.
Okay.
The Sacramento Kings at 13-9 have moved up 5 spots.
Hey.
To number 9.
We're number 9, which is pretty awesome, by the way.
The Kings just keep on rolling. What may have felt like an early season fluke with their success has proven to be legitimate.
Yeah.
Just imagine if Mike Brown can insert the defensive prowess he built at Golden State into this Sacramento team. They could stay dangerous and sustain it.
Hey, speaking of power rankings, Zach Harper, who hails from Elk Grove and who is a national writer for The Athletic, he does their NBA power rankings. He snuck into my mentions last night on one of my election conversations. And I said, hey, Brad, by the way, we were just talking about you this morning. Can you pop on and talk about it? Because he gave the Kings an A+, and I never heard back from him. He was all there to talk about election, and I asked him a professional question. I didn't hear anything from him.
Bye-bye.
News and notes right now.
I didn't get to Who's Not.
I'm sorry. I thought everybody was hot. I apologize. I thought this is Mercury.
All over my
I am.
segment.
See what happens when Jason's gone.
You know who's not?
Who's not?
That vaunted Detroit Pistons offense.
Oh, I saw this.
Last night in the first half, Tyler Herro scored 21 points.
Yes.
That was the same amount of points as the Pistons starters combined.
But
Go ahead. Silver lining.
The silver lining is the Pistons outscored the Heat 69 to 46 in the second half in Miami to win the game by 20. Imagine losing to the Pistons by 20 at home.
And being a good basketball team in doing so.
Led by Marvin Bagley's 4 points.
Finally, just one more note here before we move on. This according to Tom Verducci of MLB Network. Aaron Judge is 282 pounds and will be signed through his age 39 season.
I'm sure he'll still be 282.
He'll have a chance to become just the second player ever to hit a home run at 270 pounds or more at the age 37 or higher. Care to guess who the other player is?
Rick Russell.
No.
Don Robinson.
Nah.
No. Babe Ruth.
No.
Who?
Bartolo Colon.
I should have known that. But Bartolo Colon was an alien from outer space, one of the greatest athletes of our generation.
It's funny you say that because you look at him and like the last thing you think is a great athlete, but you're correct.
No,
Bartolo was awesome.
Bartolo was just. Didn't he hit that with the Mets?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. News and notes, please.
Stand by on this frequency.
It's time for the news of the day.
Thank you for ruining the show and dropping a steamer on my journalistic integrity.
Today's important headlines, intelligent analysis, hard-hitting interviews.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
Here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Oh my God, I love those guys.
All righty. Couple of things here. How about Aaron Judge notes? For the next 9 years, Aaron Judge will earn $1.234 million every 5 games, whether he plays or not.
Not a bad gig.
$1,234,567 is also significant because it is more than Mickey Mantle earned in his entire career.
Wow. Mickey needs to go renegotiate.
One more Aaron Judge note. Sources say, according to Andy Martino, who writes baseball for SNY, Yanks, Mets, all that stuff, he would know. He is highly connected to the Yankees. Last night, the Yankees were believed to be at 8 years, $320 million for Judge. They believed that it would take $400 million to get him away from the Yankees, and the Giants would get there. Hal Steinbrenner reportedly got on the phone with Aaron Judge, asked him if he wanted to be a Yankee. Judge said, yeah, but I need a 9th year. Hal Steinbrenner closed the deal right then and there. That's the story coming out right now. How that works.
Did George do some exorcism stuff and get into Hal?
I don't know.
That's not normally something Hal's known to do.
Hal is not Georgie.
He is not. He's actually more conscious of how he spends.
A $90,000 World Cup bet on Morocco won $1 million when they beat Spain.
Congrats.
It was made by a young school teacher who says he can't name a single player on the Moroccan team. A 20-something-year-old teacher from New York said he was instructing elementary school kids how to play volleyball, trying to distract himself from his bet that could return $1 million. $90,818.19 on Morocco to advance to the quarterfinals, which returned over $1 million. I think my only question out of this is, how does a young 20-something teacher spend $90,000 betting on Morocco? 1-800 gambler.
How does he have that money?
That's got to be an inheritance kid or something.
Yeah, or
I got to read more about
the money's stolen.
Speaking of money, Elon Musk, breaking news this morning. No, it's not what you think. According to Forbes, Elon Musk, not the richest man in the world anymore. Bernard Arnault, and family are now the richest man, whatever, in the world. I have never heard of Bernard Arnault till today, and I would venture a guess that most of the audience does not know. He is French, shockingly. Co-founder, chairman, and chief executive, LVMH, Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. Okay, so there's a little bit of money in that.
Not big lots.
Dude, the CEO of Hennessy is the richest man in the world.
Nice.
Let's go. I've wanted to like Hennessy so much. I don't like alcohol. I've tried because a lot of cool people I know, they all drink Hennessy.
Hennessy's delicious.
I can't. Oh God, it's like drinking. It hurts. It hurts my chest.
Well, if you drink too much of it,
I don't like that.
Put in some Coke.
32 years ago today, Ed Scissorhands was released. Johnny Depp.
My brother's favorite movie growing up.
Was it really?
Yeah, I don't know why my either my parents or one of my aunts got him that movie for Christmas when he was like 6. If anyone who's seen that, I don't know why they thought it was okay to do that.
I forget. In the end, did okay, that would have sounded bad. In the end, did Edward Scissorhands and Winona Ryder hook up? That's not what I meant, but you get what I mean. Like, did they end up together?
No.
No,
he runs back off to the
house in the hill, and she doesn't go
there forever. No, remember she's old at the end and telling stories how she never saw him again, but she knows he's still up there.
Well, isn't that kind of why would she just abandon him like that?
I mean,
it's kind of crap.
Well, Ed got pretty traumatized.
Well, I understand that. Plus, intimacy would have been a problem. But I'm just saying.
I mean, there's ways around that, but
mittens.
You need something a little better than that.
Today is National Illinois Day.
They get their own day?
I guess.
Shout out Chicago.
Today's National Cotton Candy Day. Cotton candy's trash. It's sugar. that's fluffy. It's the fakest candy ever. I liked it when I was a kid, and then I found out it's just fluffy colored sugar.
Anything more difficult to get out of your teeth than cotton candy?
No, I don't ever remember cotton candy being in my teeth. It dissolves. Really? It dissolves.
Yeah, but I mean onto your teeth.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you guys got to drink something warm.
Or brush them.
Well, yeah, that too. And finally, in all seriousness, I guess we're not. Hey, we're not doing celebrity birthdays today, are we?
Dude, I looked.
Yeah.
There's like no good celebrity birthdays today. It's a really poor celebrity birthday day. So if Jason were going to choose to miss one day, he actually picked the correct day of the entire year to miss.
And when you go back to Edward Scissorhands, I'm sorry, not them being together. I'm over that now. Is Edward Scissorhands in that not officially a Christmas movie, best Christmas movies?
I've seen that. Go around. I don't put it in the Christmas movie list.
You don't put Edward Scissorhands as a really?
No.
I completely think that's a kind of a Christmassy, anything with like little chimes and bells and triangles. It's Christmassy and snow.
So are you under the impression that any movie that involves Christmas is now a Christmas movie?
I don't really even think. Does that really have much to do with Christmas? It's just wintertime.
Yeah.
No, but like A Christmas Story is a Christmas movie. Elf is a Christmas movie.
Correct.
Die Hard, there's questions about
Christmas
that.
movie, a Jace.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas? Is that a Christmas movie or is that a Halloween movie?
Both. It's by
holiday?
Yeah.
I still got to watch that new Christmas Story too.
You haven't seen it yet, Mr. Christmas Story honk?
The first quarter.
Are you serious?
I was watching with the kids, and then we stopped because the kids.
Because it was trash,
the
probably.
Kids weren't getting I'll tell you
like
this.
The original.
Listen, seeing grown-up Ralphie is jarring. It's jarring, and it takes place in the 70s, and it also surrounds itself around the fact that Darren McGavin died. The old man, which is very sad. And then who plays Ralphie? Here's a butt kicker. Who plays Ralphie's mom in the movie? Like grown up Ralphie's mom,
Susan Sarandon.
No, this is gonna blow. Well, maybe you haven't seen the movie.
I haven't.
No, I'm saying the girl who plays Ralphie's mom in the new Christmas Story is Julie Haggerty from Airplane.
Really?
The love interest from Airplane is now Ralphie. We talked about the late Kirstie Alley, the late Marky Post. Julie Haggerty was also a very early Carmichael Dave crush. Like back when I didn't know. I also had a crush, I think I've said on Joe Montana too. I didn't know the difference.
Yeah, you wanted to marry him, right?
Yeah, I wanted to marry Joe Montana when I was like 5 years old. What do you want?
Financially, it would have worked out well.
For me?
Yeah.
I think he did much better with Jennifer than me.
Mrs. Montana was a catch. See what I did there?
A movie taking place at Christmas did not make a Christmas movie.
I agree.
Well, give me an exception.
Edward Scissorhands.
No. It's a Christmas movie.
Wait, they want an exception.
I'm asking you. Like Earl says, Home Alone's not a Christmas movie.
Okay, Earl's
an idiot.
I'm gonna make it a rule at some point.
I want
that
Earl and
we
Russell.
get one Earl take a day.
I want Earl and Russell to move into an apartment together
No.
and just film it.
No, it'll end up on the news.
This makes sense. Our guy from the 408 San Jose area wants to know: are you confusing cotton candy with caramel?
No.
Okay.
Cotton candy gets stuck in your teeth too.
I don't understand that. It dissolves when your saliva hits it. Yeah. It's sugar.
Dissolves into your teeth. You're not going to win this one. Give it up.
How long do we have here?
About a minute.
Okay, good. Kings tonight versus Milwaukee. Pre-game. Well, let's just say game night
Game
starts
night's at 3:30.
And there might be some juggling there. I'm not sure with Jason and all that. Jason will rejoin us tomorrow. We love him very much and look forward to having him back. By the way, Danny in Chula Vista wants you to know it's Terrell Owens' birthday.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Some Niner fan you are.
Wasn't on my celebrity birthday list I looked up earlier.
So you're saying T.O.'s not a celebrity?
I'm saying the website said he's not. I agree. Terrell Owens is a celebrity. Any Hall of Famer is.
Tomorrow on the program, Sam Amit's going to join us.
Friend of the show.
Interesting note about the beam. Sam. Looking forward to talking with him about the Kings, the beam, and everything else in between. For Katie Christensen, for Kevin Huerter, for Jason Ross, And for J Mars, I am Carmichael Dave. Stay tuned. We've got Jim Rome coming up next. Don't forget Cattles and Rami will actually probably not be on today, right? No, 30-minute show. There you go. Quick hitter, Cattles and Rami. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Kings. Light the beam. Bye-bye now.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Conventional to save on motor oil.